3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Coming to you from Johnson City, Tennessee. Stuart Jolly along with Adam Williams and the WMHU traveling crew.
Yes.
Does that work for you?
We'll work with it. It's been a long time since the two of us have done this. So we haven't done radio in...
It has been 4 years.
Yeah.
I remember that 1 hour football game.
4 years. Back. We came back and got in here, and they had nothing to plug anything into. And, well, we're back, and they've gone and bought wooden strips. So this is good. But glad to have everybody tuned our way and joining us for, well, what should be an exciting football season for Mountain Lion football. And we're going to have the call tonight and then throughout the season. Hope you can join us when we come back home against Catawba later this month. And then we'll be on the road later in the month down to beautiful Wilson, North Carolina, taking on Barton. And that's our long road trip of the year, an overnight for the Mountain Lions. So glad to have you with us through all of that action and having you part of the Mountain Lion family as you're tuned in with us this evening, this time via the good technical features of YouTube Live.
Yeah, our first foray into YouTube live stream and radio, and game's about to kick off here, so we're excited that you are joining us if you haven't decided to tune into ESPNU and following your Mountain Lions.
Beautiful evening here in the East Tennessee Valley. The visiting Mountain Lion delegation is directly across from Phil with us as we're high atop the press box here at William Green Stadium on the campus of East Tennessee State University. Mountain Lions will be defending goal to our right. That's where the big scoreboard is if you've been into this stadium before. And the Buccaneers kicking off to begin the 2022 football season. High end over end kick. Fair catch is going to be called for at the 5-yard line. So they're going to bring it out and set up first down and 10 for Mars Hill. Things to look for this year, Adam. You've had some eyes on some stats, some behind-the-scenes happenings. What are your thoughts?
I think coming off of last season, you look at the momentum and the confidence built within this program. First winning season since 2015, tied a school record for most wins in program history with 8. You have a returning senior quarterback, Jimmy Arzua. You have All-American Tyce Nelson, tight end, coming back. The one question I have, especially with this offense, are who are going to be the wide receivers that step up? You've lost plenty over the last couple seasons that were primary targets.
Talking about Arzua, he goes to the air early on, and they're going to say that the receiver was forced out of bounds. So Mars Hill will have it a second down and 10 as they begin this drive from their own 25-yard line. Tim Clifton, veteran head coach for the Mountain Lions, season number 30, as Adam and I were talking before we came onto the air. And for East Tennessee State, they have a whole new coaching staff over here. Head coach is George Quarles, season number 1 for the Bucks. Second down and 10, man in motion, coming near side. Everybody set back, and here we go. Play clock down to 7, single digits, flag coming in, drop to the 26-yard line. False start indicated against Mars Hill. If you're just joining us, we're just underway, 14:55, first quarter action here at Green Stadium on the campus of East Tennessee State University. Fan bus came over, Spirit team came over, so we have a good delegation of Mars Hill folks on hand. Adam and Rick Baker, Director of Athletics, and that crew came over early on, got everything set up for us. Team arrived a little bit later, so we're good to go. Arzua goes to the air. Great catch there near the 35-yard line, Adam. Looks like they may say that's a signal. First down.
They do. Great catch by Malik Laurent, sophomore wide receiver, one of those targets that is probably going to have to step up throughout the year. Falling backwards towards the Mars Hill bench, able to hold on and get his feet in bounds. First down for the Lions.
First down, 10 yards to go. Mars Hill picking up that first down of the season. Man in motion. Arzua is going to hand off, going to follow the block, working the way around the right side of the line. A little bit of a gap there. Able to pick up, maybe half a yard on the play. Let's see where they spot it. That may even bring it back to the original line of scrimmage. And referee stepping in. Yep, they're going to say, nudged it a bit, but not enough to really make a difference on our yardage count. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. It's going to be interesting to see how ETSU, if they're prepped more to defend our passing attack, or they're going to think Mars Hill will go to one of the ground games, and with our running backs that, gosh, throughout the years, that's been a trademark of a Tim Clifton coach team.
Yeah, it seems like the last several years it's been an air game. They've been trying to air it out as much as they can. Javon Newton, the running back, a transfer from West Florida this year, had the carry on the previous play. And then you look at sophomore running back as well, Jeray Morrison, who had a really standout season, or at least opened my eyes last year. Haven't seen him quite yet, but a plethora of options down the depth chart for the Lions.
3rd down and 10, Mars Hill. Urzua looking, has a man open, pass in the air. It is dropped by number 10, the intended target, Malik Laurent. Once again, the target for the Mountain Lions. That's going to bring up 4th down for Mars Hill. Looks like very early on we're going to see what the ETSU offense can do, Adam.
And that ETSU offense, quite dominant last year, leading the team to an 11-2 record overall, 7-1 in conference. They were undefeated at home. So you know that they're itching to perform in front of their home crowd in their season opener.
Series record is 8-2-1 in favor of the Buccaneers. Last meeting, 28-7 victory by the Bucs back in September. You guessed it, 1 of 2018. Kick is going to roll out of bounds, they will say, at the 30-yard line. So the Bucs will bring on their offense, and we'll see what they can do here. Early in the first quarter of action, it's 13:38 to go. We're scoreless here at Green Stadium. Stu and Adam along with you. Glad to have you tuned our way. Tell your friends, text them, call them, and say, hey, Mountain Lions are on the air. They're on YouTube Live. It's an easy login. You can do that whether you're on your phone, you're on your apps, or whatever it may be. Very easy to do, and glad to have you a part of what we're doing here athletically at Mars Hill University. 1st down and 10 for the Bucs. Man in motion is Carter. Bucs electing to keep it on the ground. Mountain Lions, they come scrambling in, and about 7 of them start pointing toward the south end of the field and say, we have it. The gentleman with the striped shirt says otherwise, and it will be 2nd down and 10 for the Bucs. A little bit of excitement down there, Adam.
Say 1-yard gain for ETSU, and of course you see about 6 or 7 Lions pop up and pointing to their left. Knee must have gotten down just before the ball was displaced.
Play clock down to 15. Bucs working goal to our right. Electing to keep it on the ground. They're going to run that. You just straight up the middle. It will be shy of the 1st down marker, but they're going to pick up about 3 yards on the play. So it will be, let's call it 3rd down and 3. The ball will be spotted on the 37-yard line, Adam.
Say Sailors with the rush had over 1,000 yards last year in 13 games played, averaged about 7.1 yards per carry, and just under 80 yards per game.
Man in motion. Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to say, hey, it worked last time. Let's keep it on the ground and see if we can punch out a 1st down. And they do. Following his blockers, able to move the sticks to the 41-yard line. So Bucs picking up that 1st down and continuing their drive. They'll spot it exactly on the 40. 1st and 10, Buccaneers. Sailors again with the ball. And he's going to be dropped back near the original line of scrimmage. Actually came down behind the line of scrimmage, but I think they're going to blow that play dead, Adam.
So it was a good play by Tarshawn Reed to break through for the Lion defense, able to stop Sailor's momentum before he could get it turned downhill. Only a yard gain on the play.
Going to give him some forward progress, so he's just out over the 41-yard line, working goal to our right. Looking, going to the air this time of the Buccaneers. The pass is up. It is good. On the money to Will Huzzy. And Huzzy brings it in for the Buccaneers right at the midfield stripe. So that will continue the drive for East Tennessee State. 1st down and 10 Bucs from the 50. We're at 11-19, quarter number 1 from ETSU. The road crew from Mars Hill University, glad to be part of your Thursday evening. The pass, it is complete. They got to go left side of the line this time. Able to get Jacob Sailors just outside the reach of a Mars Hill defender, and once again, first down for the Bucks.
Say 2 back-to-back passing plays we've seen from ETSU. First downs on both plays. Did a great job last season mixing up both passing and rushing offense.
Looking to go to the air one more time. It's been good for them the first 2 attempts. This time, not so good. The intended target, Noah West. Pass is incomplete. So a second down, 10 yards to go. Buccaneers inside Mountain Lion territory at the 40-yard line. 10:45, quarter number 1. And it looks like the Bucks are content to let things get down, drift to about 15 seconds on the play clock before they run their selection of offensive opportunities. Little misdirect there. They're going to keep it on the ground. And off to the races goes number 8, Jacob Sailors. Just able to clear out from the Mars Hill defense, Adam.
Sailors was able to make the line defense bite, lean to their left. He cut back right, was able to go into the end zone for his first touchdown of the year. Scored 10 last year. ETSU up early 6-0, 10:35 remaining in the first quarter.
In for the point after as the Bucks strike first. Eller to hold. Kellerderitz. Kick is blocked. And after many eventful activities around that ball, finally they say, this play's dead. We're going to finish things up. So our score as we go into the first break. ETSU 6, Mars Hill 0, 10:35, quarter number 1. You're listening to it here on the Mountain Lion Sports Network.
I just did not have a lot of stability.
I was facing foreclosure.
Not working at all, didn't have any money.
I could not go to school and work, so I found Mars Hill.
The experience here has been so wonderful.
It's been amazing.
I was able to have the full-time hours without the full-time load.
They are just incredibly supportive.
And Mars Hill is very affordable.
Mars Hill University Adult and Graduate Studies. Education that moves mountains.
I will be the first in my family to graduate with my bachelor's degree.
We don't always agree who to pull for on game day, but we all can agree that litter is bad for North Carolina. We don't always
Mars Hill
agree.
University, helping you move your mountain.
Mars Hill University gives me plenty of degrees to choose from.
At MHU, I get the attention I deserve.
MHU keeps me close to home, and there's tons to do in the mountains.
Over 60 courses of study, small class settings, a breathtaking campus. These are just a few examples of how MHU can help you start moving your mountain. Visit us today at mhu.edu. Mars Hill University, education that moves mountains.
Welcome back to William Green Stadium on the campus of East Tennessee State University. Buccaneers strike first, 10:35 in the first period of action. The PAT was not successful, so here at the 10:35 mark, it's Buccaneers 6, Mars Hill 0. Again, glad to have you part of this Lion broadcast. Our first home game of the 2022 season will be against Catawba. So we look forward to seeing you in the friendly confines of Mears Stadium and the Ammons Family Athletic Center. And once again, against Catawba, mid-portion of September. I know, it's early and we're already into conference action, but that's the way things are laid out in the calendar this year. But we'll be glad to have you joining us in what should prove to be a very exciting season of Lion football in Mears Stadium. Adam? Buck strike first. Mountain Lions, I'm sure, said, hey, we got a couple of adjustments. We're going to have to defend that run on the outside of our defensive line. What else did you see that needs to be tweaked?
Again, just being able to identify the offensive package. And again, the first several plays were rushes by the Buccaneers, and I think that may have thrown the Lions off. The 2 passing plays back to back, and then the play action, or more or less a play action, essentially just the handoff, cut back to the left. I think ETSU was able to do a solid job of just mixing up their play calling. We'll see what the Lions are able to do on this one. They were very pass-heavy in the first drive, 4 attempts by senior quarterback Jimmy Urzua. We'll see if they're able to mix in the rush game in this drive.
70-yard drive by the Bucs, 8 plays, consuming 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Mars Hill, one of the things we really didn't talk about early on is just control the tempo of the game and just hang on to that football. Run some clock. Urzua goes to the air. Pass. It's going to be complete. On the money to Keith Covey, the freshman from Snellville, Georgia. He played at Brookwood High School. That's going to move the sticks from Mars Hill. 1st and 10. Mountain Lions on the 40. 10:23 and counting. Urzua getting the word from the sidelines. Spreading 2 receivers, wide left and wide right. Mars Hill, they're going to elect this time Adam to keep it on the ground. And very quickly, that ETSU defense steps things up as Davion Hood comes in and seals the deal defensively.
Say this ETSU defense was very solid last season, only allowing an average rush of 4.3 yards, less or just over 150 yards per game. Javon Newton with the carry once again for the Lions.
2nd down, 8 yards to go, Mars Hill. The ball on the Hill's 42-yard line. The mark to make is the midfield strike. Play clock down to 10. Urzua looking, has a man. Pass is incomplete, but a penalty marker is down at the 42, and that was close to a interception there, Adam.
Close to an interception, but also Keith Coffey was able to extend his arms outright. Got his right hand on it, and as he was pulling the ball in, that's where he kind of lost control, where he almost passed it to the defensive back. Thankfully for that, well, in case there was the interception, thankfully for the flag, play was kind of null and void at that point.
False start penalty indicated again, or illegal procedure penalty indicated against the Mars Hill offense. So that will back Mars Hill up to the 37-yard line. Coach Tim Clifton into the ear of the official, giving him some editorial thought. Play clock down to 17. And official comes in to the referee. Before we have any action, it's going to be a false start against Mars Hill. And they're going to come over and explain that to the head coach and associated royal blue-clad coaching staff. That will back Mars Hill up. Let's see, Adam. We're now effectively at the 32-yard line. Once again, the mark to make, folks, is the 50.
Yeah, just some mental errors, and you wonder if the nerves are maybe getting to this team. Finally a season where there's some expectations placed on them. They're thinking back to that 2018 game where it's a lot closer, tighter contested in the first half. Wonderful catch by Ty Snelson just past the 50. Urzua airs it out, Snelson jumping grab. So maybe those mental errors, they're all absolved after that great grab.
That'll certainly get you back on track very quickly. A great catch by Ty Snelson. 1st down yardage and just a bit more as the Mountain Lions march their way into ETSU territory for the first time this evening. It will be 1st and 10. Mountain Lions on the Bucs 48-yard line. 8:45. Bucs up by 6 here in our first quarter of play. Coming near side on the play toward the home side of the field, Mars Hill. They try to cut it upfield and not able to do so, but I think as much as possible, Newton was able to do some really good hanging onto that football and just a good effort by that young man. Had he been able to make that corner, he'd have gotten another 5 or 6 yards out of it.
The fact that he was able to get a yard out of that play is quite a statement for the Lions. Stephen Scott, linebacker for the ETSU, wearing number 0, able to break through the line and make first contact, kind of slowing Newton's momentum. I think if he doesn't bump him there, Newton does able to turn that corner.
2nd down now, Mountain Lions. Let's see, an even 8 minutes to go here in our first quarter of play. And once again, before the Lions are able to cut things upfield, that ETSU defense, they really closed in, Adam.
Yeah, it was a quick pass by Urzua to Keith Coffey on the near sideline, and before he could turn his head to look upfield, he already saw two blue and gold jerseys staring him down.
Timmy Dorsey coming in with the stop, at least the primary stop for the Bucks. It's third down, Mars Hill, operating on the 45-yard line of ETSU. The mark to make is the Buccaneer 38-yard line. Lions trailing 6-0, 7-26, quarter number one here at Green Stadium in Johnson City. Play clock down to 4. Urzua scrambling, coming near side, looking, and he had one receiver in the area, and I think he's going to dodge kind of a rule bullet on that one by having a generous interpretation, as we did have Malik Laurent. He was nearby.
Nearby, and I think Urzua was pushed out of the pocket just enough as well. Rolling to his left, he's a right-handed quarterback. It's going to be a tough throw either way. I think he made the smart play rather than trying to force it into that area towards Laurent. Just throw it away rather than risk an interception or even further loss of yards.
Had Laurent been able to reel it in, though, and on the target, he had some yardage in front of him. Mars Hill going to kick it away. And it will hit and roll out of bounds. It's going to be near the 24-yard line. And official has stepped in, and we have an official timeout on the field. We're going to do the same. Glad to have you with us. This is Mountain Lion Football. Mars Hill Trail 6-0 against ETSU. 7:07, quarter number one. We'll be right back.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
My heroes work hard, all day, every day. My heroes wake up really early just to make me a delicious breakfast from scratch. And they make me dinner too. And that's why my heroes are Bojangles Master Biscuit Makers.
At Bojangles, it's all about the biscuits. Come in for a Cajun filet biscuit combo. Bojangles, it's bow time.
My heroes work hard, all day, every day.
Back to East Tennessee State University, Green Stadium. Stuart Jolly, Adam Williams along with you. Adam, we got football tonight. I understand it's going to be a busy weekend volleyball on Mars Hill campus.
The inaugural Tony Fontenelle Memorial Volleyball Tournament will kick off tomorrow at 11 a.m. Lions hosting 5 visiting schools: Coker University, Young Harris College, King University, as well as Georgia College. It'll be a great celebration of the sport of volleyball and certainly of head coach Tony Fontenelle. Lions home opener this weekend as well. And then on Saturday, and I'm sure we can touch on it a little bit later, men's soccer home opener as they host North Greenville at 3:30.
Back to some live action. ETSU elects to keep things on the ground, and Mars Hill did a masterful job on that. So it's 2nd down and 12 as the Mountain Lions push the Bucks back by 2 yards. 6:39, quarter number one. Bucks up by 6. PAT was no good. Buccaneers looking to get in the air. They're not going to get the opportunity, though, are they, Adam Williams?
Daquan Carter coming around the edge, able to get to quarterback Tyler Riddle for the first sack of the season. Big play by Carter for Mars Hill.
Mountain Lions really charging that defense, saying, hey, we may be a Division II team, but we can stay with you guys here in the first quarter of action, and they're doing so. It's third down, Bucks. The mark to make is going to be the 34. Currently, they're on their own 18-yard line. Getting the offensive call. Looking over to their ETSU sideline. Play clock down to 3. They're going to use that to their advantage, and my goodness, ever so close there to Mountain Lions coming up with the football, Adam.
Say Nick Jackson, preseason All-South Atlantic Conference first-team selection, able to get a hand on that ball and disrupt the play. You love to see this kind of drive for the Lion defense.
So it's going to be fourth down for the Buccaneers. They will have the football on their own 18-yard line. Their mark to make would be the 34, but they're going to be back in punt formation. Back for Mars Hill. Washington, the freshman from Thomasville, North Carolina, as our return man. Buck's going to let that play clock run down as all the way. Well, I'm looking at zeros, but they're going to say, hey, let them kick it anyway. Mountain Lions touch it. Buccaneers come up with it. Again, a mental error by Marzil on that one, Adam.
Lameek Washington, freshman, maybe the nerves getting to him in his first collegiate game. I could see him looking downfield. He looked up, may have lost the ball, kind of panicked, got a hand on it, unable to fall down and recover. Fortunate break for ETSU, as I believe it was Zach West rushing down with the recovery, number 4 for ETSU.
That's one of those, it might go in your favor if you're on your home field, but if you're on the road, almost always that home crowd gets behind the Buccaneers, and gosh, that comes into play. So it's going to be ETSU knocking at the door of Mars Hill, this time on the 30-yard line of the Mountain Lions. 5:30 to go, quarter number 1. Bucks up by 6. They'd like to tag on one more TD before they get out of quarter number 1. Let that play clock drift all the way down to 10. Looking, have a man open. And the pass is complete. It is right on the money to Jacob Sailors. 5:23, quarter number 1. Buccaneers on the board. Second time here in the first quarter. And this time, the Bucks coming in, going to line up. Interesting to see if they go for the traditional kick or say, hey, let's round things off. Nope, they're going to say, we're going to try that PAT one more time. Once again, Eller to hold. Elleretts to kick it away. Snap, set, kick. It is good. Right through the sticks. Timeout on the field, 5:23. First quarter action. Buccaneers 13, Mountain Lions 0, right here on the Mountain Lions Sports Network.
Everybody knows Enterprise picks you up. But can they solve all my transportation needs? Spoiler alert, they can.
You can buy from Enterprise Car Sales.
Sold. Car sharing. That's alarmingly sensible.
We even rent exotics.
That's good, because sometimes Mama wants to drive like a mother. Big trucks are kind of my jam. You guys make me feel so special.
Like a princess?
Exactly. Rent, buy, or share. How can Enterprise pick you up today? Everybody knows Enterprise picks you up. But can they solve all my transportation needs? Spoiler alert, they can.
You can buy from Enterprise Car Sales.
Sold. Car sharing. That's alarmingly sensible.
We even rent exotics.
That's good, because sometimes Mama wants to drive like a mother. Big trucks are kind of my jam. You guys make me feel so special.
Like a princess?
Exactly. Rent, buy, or share. How can Enterprise pick you up today? Everybody knows Enterprise picks you up. But can they solve...
The chicken fingers are good.
Are they Bojangles Chicken Supremes?
No, they're Cheeky's chicken fingers. We're in a Cheeky's restaurant.
So they're not whole breast tenderloins.
I can
Are they
check.
at least perfectly seasoned like Bojangles?
Well, I don't think that they are.
So they're mild, like home-style tenders from Bojangles.
I don't know if they're mild or hot or what. I don't eat them.
I'll just take a water.
Nothing compares to Bojangles' perfectly seasoned chicken supremes or mild home-style tenders. Bojangles, it's Bo time.
Welcome back to Green Stadium on the campus of ETSU. Stuart Jolly, Adam Williams with you. Glad to have you logged on our way here for this first game of the 2022 season. Mountain Lions trailing 13-0 here against the Buccaneers. Just a couple of mental miscues early on, Adam.
Yeah, and that last drive especially, the botched punt return. Washington freshman once again getting a hand on it, unable to recover. ETSU able to pick it up, and one play later, they're in the back of the end zone with a 13-0 advantage with just over 5 minutes and 20 seconds to play in this first quarter.
29-yard drive, one play. It took all of 7 seconds. And the interesting thing, Adam, is if you'd picked up there, you really didn't get the whole story, because right before that, Mars Hill defense had a great series.
Wonderful series. Daquan Carter with a sack, Nick Jackson with a pass breakup to force that punt attempt. And a fair catch is called on the kickoff. But you're right, the defense had an outstanding series, 3 and out for ETSU. Unfortunate to see that punt botch occur. We'll see how the Lions respond on this drive.
Well, that's one of those things. If you can come back here, march it down the field, eat up some clock, and you're within, let's say, 30-yard line or closer toward the end of this first quarter of play, you're in still pretty good shape here in this football game. The key is, we said coming in, you got to hold on the football. You've got to really control that time of possession. And again, hats off to the defense. They did a great job. Just a miscue on that initial play for the Mountain Lions after that attempted kick return. Mars Hill trying to bring it around the right side of that line quickly. ETSU says no doing there, Adam.
Yeah, Chandler Martin able to get in the backfield for ETSU to cut out Javon Newton. Lions unable to really turn the corner. This ETSU defense, especially this linebacking core, pretty quick from what I've been able to see. They're able to cover a lot of ground very quickly, and Newton, I can tell, is frustrated. Javon Newton actually stopped in my office a couple days this week, and we were talking about the game, and the one quote I did really enjoy from him is, I asked, hey, how do you guys feel? And he goes, we just got to play without fear. And you can see that he's attacking without any fear. He's just unable to get that one cut, that one break that he needs.
Mountain Lions this time, they're going to keep it on the ground. They're going to come near side. That's the home side of the field here at Green Stadium. And once again, ETSU able to stop Mars Hill from cutting it upfield.
Yeah, once again, just that speed. And it's not just one man. There's 2, maybe even 3 there. It's just very difficult to find room on the ground. It's going to force the Lions into a passing situation, 3rd and 13 with 4:15 remaining in the frame.
If you're just joining us, it's 13-0. Bucks in front. Late here in our first quarter of action. It is a beautiful night for football here in Johnson City. Urzua goes the air pass. I think they got a hand on that one, Adam.
And there were 2 receivers in the intended area, of course, fell right between both of them, Newton and Malik Laurent. This ETSU defense, it's something to behold. It's certainly different than the one that we saw several years ago. They're just fast. They attack on the ball, and they're right there. There's very little time and space for this Lion offense, especially on this pass drive.
Well, when you come off a season like the Buccaneers had, it is easier to play with a little bit more swagger on defense than we saw last time we were over here. Oh, gosh, it's hard to believe. 4 years ago. Lions booted away. Let's see if going to try for a return. Yes, indeed, they do. Buccaneers going to try to run things back. Across the midfield, down to the 40. Down to the 30, cutting it upfield. Down to the 10, 5. Finally going to be tripped up on the play, Adam. Good playmaking there by the Bucks as they had some blockers out in front with a great return there.
Elijah Huzzy able to follow those blocks all the way within the 5-yard line. This line team, I believe, it just appears that they're stunned, especially after that dropped punt just moments ago. Hussey was rushing backwards, and there were 2 lines there trying to cut him off. He was able to split them and, again, just follow that line all the way near the goal line, right at the 2-yard line.
Back to game action. We're at 3:39. Play clock down to 20. Bucks lead 13-0. Knocking at the proverbial door here, goal to our right. Mountain Lion defense says, well, you're going to have to knock one more time. That's not going to happen, at least coming off first and goal. So it'll be second and goal, Bucks. From our perspective, it looks like they're operating about the 1 yard line, Adam.
So it was a good tackle for Tarshawn Reed, and also getting a hand on there's Demipi Lamboni, the only starting member from the defensive line of last year to return. Others had graduated in the spring of 2022.
Sailors punches it in, but the side judge drops the flag and says, well, we may have to discuss this. He comes out to the gentleman clad with a white hat. It's going to be encroachment against Mars Hill. I imagine they will waive that off. They do. ETSU says we don't want the penalty. We'll take the 6 points. And they do, moving ahead 19-0. 3:01 as the Bucks will come in for the PAT. But right now we have a timeout on the field for an injured Mars Hill player. Again, we mentioned it. Busy morning and then afternoon and evening tomorrow on the Mars Hill University campus. If you like volleyball, it is going to be your kind of a weekend on the university campus. Come out to Chambers Gymnasium, all sorts of quality teams, and of course that's led by our very own Lady Mountain Lions, coming off just a spectacular storybook season last year. Hoping to add some more chapters to that this year, Adam.
An incredible season last year. We could probably spend the whole halftime show recapping it, but to kind of fast forward to this year, if you want to follow your Mars Hill Lions, be it volleyball, men's soccer, football, whatever the sport may be sure to sign up through flowsports.tv, where we'll be bringing you all the live streams of all Mars Hill Lion home events. You can find links on marshilllions.com under the Fan Zone tab. You can either click the Flow Sports link directly or the live video link directly. Sign up and be able to follow and watch your Mars Hill Lions throughout this season.
Gallernet's back in for the point after as training staff will get busy. One of the Mars Hill University players. Snap, kick in the air. It is good as Galleret splits the stick. Timeout on the field. 3:01. Quarter number 1. Bucks 20, Mars Hill 0. Right here on the Mountain Lion Sports Network. Welcome back to East Tennessee State University. Stu and Adam along with you. Glad to have you logged on from Mountain Lion football. Lions trailing 20-0. See if they can capitalize and make something, put it into the end zone here before we wrap things up in our first quarter of action. So again, early start to season for us. We go back 4 years ago. That's how things played out. 2018. Mountain Lions open against the Buccaneers here in Green Stadium. And, well, it won't be long this time before we're back to the friendly confines of Mears Stadium and the Ammons Family Athletic Center as we will have conference action against the Indians of Catawba. Gosh, that comes up quickly, doesn't it, Adam?
It does. September 17th, home opener, conference opener as well. Lions had an impressive season last year, vying for a South Atlantic Conference title. We'll see if they're able to run that back this season.
Urzua has a man open. What does he do with him? He hits him. That's a great hook up there to Jahari Mitchell, the junior from Shelby, North Carolina, played for the Golden Lions of Shelby High School. Mars Hill will now have it second down. They will spot it on the 28-yard line. Again, Mars Hill's been letting that play clock drift down to about 10 seconds before they trigger anything. ETSU's they've been getting it under 8. Urzua, pressure coming on that one, Adam.
Say rushed by Davion Hood. No one really got a hand on him. Urzua rolled out to his right. Hood easily able to get to Urzua. Intended pass for Snelson. And fortunately, Snelson batted it down because it was going to go to another ETSU defender. I believe the linebacker was Devin Brantley. Defensive lineman was in the area.
And Brantley had visions of grandeur on that one. He was like, I'm going to go closer to that scoreboard because I'm only 30 yards out, but not the case. Again, credit that to Snelson. Had enough wherewithal, thought to say, hey, let's bat that thing away. You don't need that. Mars Hill going to the air. Snelson on the reception at the 35-yard line. We're down to 2:23 and counting. Quarter number one, Mars Hill trailing 20-0 against the Buccaneers. That's first down yardage for Mars Hill, Adam.
And saying you're looking for little victories in this quarter, and I think a first down, I believe they only had one so far up until this point, and getting Snelson involved again. Snelson, an All-American selection, second team by AP and the D2 CCA at the end of the season. You want to get him involved as much as you can.
Urzua scrambling, looking to see he have his receiver open. Does he? Well, pretty much if you were in a white jersey, you were covered up. Let's see. We're going to have a discussion with our officiating crew. I am looking for the laundry, and I don't see it.
It
It
is on the sideline.
It is squarely in front of the officials. They're guarding that flag like they can trade it in later. It will be penalty against the Buccaneers. It's going to be first down yardage. He gave the initial signal. Let's see if he comes out and gives a final report on that. Well, no, they're not. Marshall will take whatever it was, though. We're first and 10, just inside Buccaneer territory. Urzua to the air, had a man open, but great defensive coverage by the Buccaneers.
On that previous play, it was deemed roughing the passer by Timmy Dorsey. That was the penalty called that allowed Marshall to cross over into ETSU territory. And on the incompletion, I think Urzua just rushed it. If he waited maybe another half second, Laurent would have been closer to the area, maybe able to get a hand on it and drag it down. Instead eludes Laurent. It'll be second down for the Lions.
And if Lithia Springs sophomore gets his hands on that, ladies and gentlemen, it will not take long. He will be off to the races into the end zone. Second down, 10 yards to go, Lions. Urzua hands it off. Mars Hill says, we're going to just keep it on the ground this time. And they churn out some yardage down to about the 42-yard line. A little discussion amongst the various blue and white clad linemen on the field, but they go their separate ways. And Mars Hill will continue this drive. Third down from the 42. The mark to make is the 38 of ETSU. 1:10 to go, quarter number one. Bucks up by 20. Mars Hill in Buccaneer territory. Play clock down to 7. They're going to utilize all of that. Let it drift down to 3. Urzua had a man open, trying to get it to Snelson. I saw a hand on Snelson. Let's see if anybody else saw it that way. Well, not anyone that has that extra bit of yellow polyester in their back pocket.
No, I'm with you there, Stuart. I think Elijah Huzzy, who had that great punt return just a little earlier on in the quarter, I think he had a handful of Snelson's jersey. Nothing called. Lions 4th and 4 now. We'll see what kind of play they're able to draw up.
Ball squarely on the 42. The mark to make the Buccaneer 38. Urzua looking to the air. Pass complete. Great reception there by Laurent. Again, the sophomore from Lithia Springs, Georgia. Sufficient yardage for the first down. That'll move the sticks. Good playmaking, Mars Hill.
And especially on 4th and 4. It's a risky call this early on in the game, but when you're down by 20 in the first quarter, why not take your shot? It was a great reception by Laurent, crossing in towards the middle of the field. Was kind of running more horizontally. You would have liked to seen him maybe turn it more vertical, give you a couple extra yards here and there, but the Lions will take the first down nonetheless.
1st and 10, Mars Hill from the 36-yard line of the Buccaneers. We're winding things down in our first quarter of action. Urzua looking. Target, once again, is Snelson. Some folks within the stadium in the blue and gold of Mars Hill looking for some recognition of that contact by the officiating crew.
And I think it's a very similar play to what we saw just 2 snaps ago. Huzzy having a hand on Snelson. This one, to me, appeared a little more blatant. However, officials deem that it was inoffensive.
Well, and I'm wondering on both of those, it's been a little bit of a high throw, so I'm wondering if they're thinking, he wouldn't have caught it anyway. We might be able to have a debate of that around some sweet tea and cookies. 2nd down, 10, Mars Hill. Urzua's pass is intended to Newton from Clearwater, Florida. Just off the tips of his fingers on that one, Adam.
Urzua just a little too much on that pass. Newton slowed up a little bit, I think. If he would have kept the stride going forward, would have been able to reel that in. Maybe 6-7 yard gain, who knows, maybe get the first down off of it. But Urzua, just out of Newton's reach.
Well, we said if Mars Hill could get through this quarter and this last set of drives, be within the 40 or the 30. Hey, they're at the 36. Not bad at the mountain lions. Let's see what happens here. Urzua has a man open. The pass, it is complete. As Malik Laurent reels it in, they will say he caught it at the 27-yard line, which is going to be near the first down mark. Coach Clifton staring at the line marker, having already made up his mind what the situation is going to be. And that's going to wrap things up in our first quarter of play. Buccaneers lead this one, 20-0. This is Mountain Lion football. We'll be right back. Welcome back to William Green Stadium, home of the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State University. Stuart Jolly, Adam Williams along with you. Glad to have you part of our broadcast here this evening as well. We're coming to you streaming on YouTube Live, so something new for us, but seems to be working well. We've got some visitors logged on and like what we're doing, so we thank you very much for that. Adam, look at the numbers in our first half.
Yeah, total yards for both teams. East Tennessee with the advantage 95-85. Mars Hill with the advantage in the air, 79 yards to East Tennessee's 47. And rushing yards, East Tennessee State leading Mars Hill 48-6. Jacob Saylor's really the standout performer in the quarter, for both teams. 2 touchdowns on the ground, 8 attempts for 52 yards, and then the 1 reception, the 29-yard catch after the bobbled punt by the Lions, that one-play drive that took only 7 seconds for ETSU to double their lead, 13-0 at the time.
Adam, I didn't see anything in the first quarter of play that gave me any concern for the remaining portion of the season. What I saw was a young team that's on the road playing on a SoCon field and making some adjustments, getting used, A, to this environment, B, it's the first game of the season, C, it's on the road, D, it's in front of a crowd, and a lot of new personnel out there coming off with a lot of expectations. Once they settle in, they'll make an interesting game here throughout the remaining portion of this half. Arizua going to the air, and there were a couple of things that could have happened on that. Snelson could have caught it, punched it in. ETSU, they were close to picking it off as Huzzy was in on the – well, let's see, was that Huzzy?
That was Josh Trice, number 8 defensive back for East Tennessee State. And Snelson, being the big body that he is, I think being about, 6'4", 220, somewhere around there, the momentum of him crashing down to the ground with Trice holding onto the ball may have loosened that up. Either way, it's a turnover on downs, but – the stat line's going to look a little bit better for Arizua minus that interception.
So it will go over on downs. 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers. They'd like to pick up where they left off. 1st and 10 as they will be operating from the 27-yard line. Buccaneers are going to go to the air, and it will be 1st down yardage for the Bucs. Good playmaking there by East Tennessee State as they connect with Noah West. Riddle to West early on, quarter number 2.
So he had Nick Jackson draped all over him, able to haul in that ball. Big passing play by Tyler Riddle. He's been 4 for 6 on the night, 61 yards. They haven't really gone to the air too much, but when they have, they've been effective.
1st down and 10. Buccaneers continue their drive. They lead this contest 20-0. 14-15 in our second period of play. Buccaneers say we're going to keep it on the ground this time. Great read by the Mars Hill defense on that, but flags him flying in at him.
Looks like Tristan Rankin got a little overzealous on that play as the flags come in. Tristan Rankin, the defending SAC Defensive Freshman of the Year, had an outstanding season last year for the Lions in his first one. Technically a junior, but sophomore on the field. Had 3 interceptions in one game, tying a school record. Was just one off from setting the school record for single season. That's currently held by assistant head coach Kevin Barnett, who had 9 in his playing days.
Personal foul. Face mask will be the penalty against Mars Hill. That must have come right there. Well, no, there are 2 different penalties. The second one, well, that looked like contact to the face. They've got the big board up, and you can't see anything on that one. So, regardless, they must be going to give the bulk of that penalty. About 10 yards, I do believe, against Mars Hill. Bucks go to the air. They've got a man open. My goodness, they missed a good opportunity on that one, Adam.
Nia Carter, wide open, faked the cut to the right, cut back to the sideline on the left. Mars Hill DB slipped. I believe that was Monroe Sanderson. Wide open. Wide open was the intended receiver, but Riddle just overthrows him. Fortunate break for the Lion defense.
And don't you know the ETSU quarterback's got to be going, what more do you want me to do? You've got to catch that. And really, that was one of those things. It will go as an incomplete pass, but that was all on the receiver. This time, Bucks keep it on the ground. Jacob Sailors working his way down to the 40-yard line. We're at 13:33, quarter number 2. Bucks lead this one 20-0. They're inside Mountain Lion territory once again at the 40, Adam.
And a good solid play by linebacker Jake Watson, seeing a good bit of action thus far tonight. Kind of saw him late last season. He's going to be one of those solid linebackers that develops over the next couple of years. But he was staring Sellers down in the backfield, and Sellers really didn't know what to do. Kind of got as much as he could out of it, and it's a good job to contain him. He's certainly been one of the premier players of this game so far.
3rd down for the Buccaneers. The mark to make is the Mars Hill 33-yard line. And Bucks, one more time, they'll like to keep it on the ground. I thought they might dial up a pass play on that, as they're going to have to make they're going to be significantly short of the first down marker. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. No, excuse me, 4th down and 5. Bucks seem to be content that, hey, we don't have anything to worry about here. We're good. We're good. Man in motion is Carter. Riddell drops back, has some pressure. The pass, it is complete to Isaiah Wilson, but it will be short of the first down marker. So the Mars Hill defense, hats off and great applause to those young men. It holds, and Mars Hill, this time, they'll take over on downs. Adam, a good series by the Mars Hill defense.
Good series by the defense and a big stop, especially on 4th down, only really allowing 2 yards on the play. Monroe Sanderson, who earlier in that drive could have been kind of the donkey on that play if that reception was hauled in, makes the big tackle, turnover on downs for the Lions, and in pretty solid field position as well at the 36.
We have a timeout on the field. We will do the same. Quick reminder, 12:27, quarter number 2, Buccaneers up 20-0. Mars Hill with a good defensive stop. We come back, they'll have the ball and an opportunity to march it down the field. Glad to have you with us right here on the Mountain Lion Sports Network. Welcome back to East Tennessee State University. Stu, along with Adam, glad to have you with us as we have our first road broadcast about Lion football. Kicking thing off, well, we're over the ridge in East Tennessee, Johnson City, William Green Stadium on the campus of East Tennessee State University. The Bucks and the Mountain Lions. Buccaneers up 20-0. Mountain Lions, good defensive stance. Here we go. See what Arizona can do with it as Mountain Lions have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 36-yard line. Arizona had a high snap there, able to get hold of it, hands it off at him. Mars Hill, good playmaking, just barreling straight ahead, following some of those blockers.
Say Newton finally able to get some positive yardage on the ground. Going into that last attempt, 6 attempts for 6 yards. Now he's up to 10 yards on the night. But earlier than that, we were talking about how the defensive line and the linebacking core of ETSU was able to break through and really stop his momentum. This time, just north-south gain for Newton.
Arizua squarely printed on the 35-yard line. He's going to spread out the field, though. Nope, able to once again say, hey, no, we've got some receiver options out there to my right, but no, I'm going to keep it on the ground, and he does. And again, Mars Hill able to take some advantage and get some good yardage on the play, Adam.
And say this one straight up the gut. Once again, we talked about how Newton was trying to find the corners, was unable to find any time or space to make a move and able to break free. This time just straight up the gut, already 9 yards on this drive.
11:19 to go. Quarter number 2. Mars Hill trails 20-0. 3rd down 1. Mountain Lions on their own 45. Good, solid series thus far. Urzua hands off one more time. Up the middle, it's time. I do believe the ETSU defense is going to step things up and say, nope, you're not going to do that a 3rd time to us.
It looks like Newton able to make it back to the line of scrimmage. Another 4th down for the Lions. And it looks like this time the punt team will come out. But we know head coach Tim Clifton and his staff, there's always a wide array of trick plays.
Well, and Adam,
now one of those times.
I know there's all sorts of philosophies on this of, well, it's early in the season. You want to go for that. Even if you don't make it, you've showed your offense. You have faith in them. The other part is, no, it's early in the season. Don't want to get your offense feeling like they get buried in things. And, well, this time, no, they're not going to try anything, any trickeration, as it were. They're just going to kick it away simply. And great job denying any sort of return on that.
Say great coverage by the Lions. I believe it deflected off of a Lions shoulder pad into the hands of Huzzy. You certainly don't want to give him any time and space to make a return, as we saw in the last attempt. 4 Lions surrounded him and engulfed him right around the 20-yard line, it looks like. Or, no, excuse me, about the 15 or so.
So the Buccaneers will start this drive when we come back from this timeout. Bucs lead 20-0 right here on the Mountain Lion Sports Network. Welcome back to East Tennessee State University. Stuart Jolly and Adam Williams along with you. Our privilege to be bringing you this live broadcast of Mountain Lion football. Adam, quick look at some of the stats, particularly on the passing. We'll do that comparison between Tyler Adele and Jimmy Urzua.
Yeah, Urzua has attempted 19 passes, 8 completions for 79 yards. Lions still leading in that aspect in the air, essentially. But Tyler Riddell more efficient, 5 of 8, 63 yards and 1 touchdown, a rating right now of 169.9.
Coming in out of the television timeout. 1st down and 10 for the Bucs. As Adam said, they'll start this on their own 15-yard line. They lead this contest 20-0. Buccaneers electing to keep it on the ground. Mars Hill says that is fine with us, but you're not going to go very far on this play.
Line defense swarming in on the tailback, I believe, as they run off the field. That's Jawan Martin. Certainly a new look and a new player for this ETSU offense, giving Sailor some breaks off right now.
9:46 to go in our first half of play. It's been all Buccaneers thus far. Now, Mars Hill has showed a couple of good series and some really good defensive stops early on. Buccaneers able to hit a man out in the open field, and Mars Hill going to bring him down at about the 45, but not before. Noah West is able to reel it in and pick up big 1st down yardage for the Bucs.
say Noah West's second reception of the contest. His previous one was 14 yards. This one's certainly much longer as a screen is thrown by East Tennessee. Big tackle by Nick Jackson near the ETSU sideline, and a flag is thrown.
Bryson Irby able to reel it in, as you said, on a good screen pattern for the Bucks. And Mars Hill, well, you can't start that tackling process that close to the big white stripe around the field, because almost every time you're going to get a flag thrown on you.
And I don't think the hit was the issue. I think standing over the downed receiver, flexing and taunting, is going to certainly draw the flag every single time. Maybe some hot heads at the moment. Maybe need to cool down. Nick Jackson, certainly an emotional player, certainly a great player for the Lions, but just another one of these mental miscues that we've seen in the opening 30 minutes of play.
And again, we talked about that throughout this broadcast. Is those are the type things, first game, you talk about it in terms of jitters, you talk about experience, you talk about different environments to play in. All of those things, hey, you're glad to get them out of the way because it's just going to get better as the season goes on. First down and 10 Buccaneers. They're on the Mars Hill 32-yard line, courtesy of the penalty that really gets the Bucks inside Mars Hill territory. Handoff, trying to cut around the right side of the line is Bryson Irby, and this time it's Irby who can't get it cut upfield for a lot of yardage.
And I believe that was Jake Watson, number 25. I mentioned him on the last drive, able to penetrate the offensive line and wrap his arms around Irby to slow him down before the second Mars Hill defender comes in and stops him for a loss.
Second down, 12 yards to go. Buccaneers. The mark to make is the Mars Hill 22. The Bucks lead this contest 20-0. 8:14 remaining. First half action. Riddell looks. He's under pressure. How much pressure is he under? Enough that he is now on the ground and having lost a significant amount of yardage. Adam Williams.
I'm not great with numbers or math, but that looks to be about an 11-yard loss. Denzel Patton, Lions showed blitz. He was able to break through, chase down Riddell, and have a huge sack. A big play for this Lion defense as Denzel Patton returning junior for the Lion defense.
I'm like you. I taught social studies, not mathematics. The only thing I know, that's a lot. It's in our favor. We'll take it. It's third down from the 45. The mark to make is still the Mars Hill 22-yard line. Best shape the Mars Hill has been able to put together defensively against ETSU. Now let's see if they can cut off the corners, and again they do. They do a good job of keeping number 7, Bryson Irby, from really getting a lot of positive yardage on that play. Now the Buccaneers will get it back to the 36, but that's going to be well shy of the first down marker. For that matter, it's well shy of the original line of scrimmage.
It's a good tackle by Jabril Norman. The difference, obviously, this one knocks him out of bounds, turns around, runs away, goes to the sideline, no taunting, no need for it. Smart play and an efficient play by ETSU, though, to put them in field goal range.
Fourth down, Buccaneers. They will attempt a make that a 54-yard attempt. There is no wind. It is up. It is no good. Timeout on the field. Hats off to the Mars Hill defense. Did what they needed to do on that one. It is 6:40 to go. Quarter number 2. We're about to wrap things up here in this first half. Buccaneers 20. Mountain Lions 0 right here on the Mountain Lions Sports Network. Welcome back to this live broadcast of Mountain Lion Football. Stuart Jolly, Adam Williams along with you. We are indeed glad to have you, having found us on the internet and logged on and found out that, hey, we're on YouTube Live. Glad to have you part of this streaming broadcast. It's going to be what we're going to be doing all season long on multiple sports. Now back to live action. Urzua had a man open, but it's going to be picked off by the Buccaneers. Here comes Josh Trice. Yes, we mentioned his name before. It wasn't really good the last time we mentioned it. And again, not good news for the Mountain Lions. Trice picks it off. He returns it inside Mountain Lion territory down to the 21-yard line, Adam.
Kind of a questionable pass by Urzua. I believe he was intending to feather that ball through for Ty Snelson, but it's surrounded by some ETSU defenders. And if I'm not mistaken, that was Mike Price. So we have Josh Trice 8, Mike Price 9. So we have the rhyming last names here.
Yes, we do.
But Price able to return that deep into line territory. ETSU with the ball at the 21.
Of course, they would give people with similar names numbers right next to each other. Play-by-play teams dream. Myers Hill defense says we had enough of that right there. And this time, Trice is going to be dropped for a loss of yardage. Yes, we said Trice dropped for a loss of yardage.
And saying Landon Honeycutt with the tackle, showing a ton of emotion, screaming at the sideline, screaming at his teammates. You don't see that quite often from the junior linebacker who was an all-SAC selection last year, certainly trying to get some momentum on the Lions side and trying to wake his teammates up as well.
Buccaneers looking to go to the air. There's nothing there, so the QB says, I'm going to take it down and run with it. A lot of white jerseys coming my direction. I'm just going to scamper right out of bounds here before nothing happens to me, or I should say before something happens to me.
Chased down by Honeycutt and Tristan Rankin, and I give Rankin a lot of credit for showing discipline along that sideline. He had every opportunity to lay a big blow as Riddle was stepping out of bounds. Decided to pull up and just let the play happen. Good discipline. Again, maybe starting to turn the corner here on the hype and the aggression that we've seen out of this defense.
Yeah, had he made a different decision, the ETSU quarterback could have met a deductible very quickly on that. Let's see. We have an apparent touchdown. I've not seen the signal from an official. That is mainly because there's a flag down on the field at the 16-yard line.
Looked like offside on the line defense.
Offsides. Myers Hill. That penalty will be declined. Touchdown is good. So at 5:10, second quarter, the Bucks tag on another one. It is now a 26-0 game. Again, very small things making a very big difference on the scoreboard. In for the point after. Number 19, Xavier Gallaretz drills it through, followed by a cannon fire that most of the people on the left side of the stadium have jumped that were not paying attention to the cannon. We forgot it was there too, ladies and gentlemen. It's a timeout on the field. It is 5:10 remaining in our first half. Buccaneers lead this one 27-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back to East Tennessee State University Green Stadium, home of the Buccaneers, who lead their season opener 27-0 against the Mountain Lions of Mars Hill. It has been a game thus far of some mental miscues by the Mountain Lions, and I think, it to a great degree, we keep talking about first game jitters, but that does play into it, Adam.
It certainly does, and I mentioned it in the first quarter as well. I think this team is realizing they have certain expectations placed on them this season that they may not have had for the last 5 or 6 years. So coming into a contest, and some of the seniors in terms of Jimmy Erzu and Ty Snelson, who were here in 2018, remembering, hey, we played with these guys for about 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters. That senior leadership maybe hasn't translated down throughout the lineup, and these expectations kind of eating away at the Lions as the ball goes into the end zone for a touchback. We'll see what the second half can bring. It's about 5 minutes away here. Certainly going to be a lot to talk about in that Lion locker room. We'll see what they can do on this offensive drive. As Erzu, it was a one-and-done last time interception that resulted in a quick ETSU touchdown. Well,
and you have to look back, and as you mentioned there, Adam, last contest here against ETSU 4 years ago, September 1 of 2018, final score, ETSU 28, Mars Hill 7. Well, we're still not finished for the first quarter, and it's already 27-0. So, like you said, a lot of these seniors out here, they were here in that game, and you wonder, and they have to be thinking, wait a second, we were that close at the end of the season last year. What's going on now? It's the first game, guys. You'll be fine. Having said that, ETSU picks off Erzua's pass, and barreling into the end zone. Let's see if the trailing official, he turns around and says, I'm not the trailing official anymore. I'm the guy down here on the end zone. That is a touchdown. My, oh my, when it is going the wrong direction, it tends to pick up speed sometimes, Adam.
Elijah Hussey, who had that great punt return we saw in the first quarter, comes up with the interception on this one. I was about to make the comment that the flea flicker that the Lions wanted to run. It's my favorite play in football. Well, not this one, as the Buccaneers return it for a touchdown. Hussey with another big play, and to make matters worse, I believe there's a Mars Hill offensive lineman laboring. He's off the field. I can see him now walking on his own power, but as you said, when it rains, it pours.
Well, and it's picking up intensity. We've got an entire tropical depression. Looks like it's moving in here, Adam. Through the end zone goes the point after, and the cannon sends a swirling smoke through this. Never seen that. That's interesting. Timeout on the field. 34 points on the board. Bucks. Mars Hill thus far scoreless. 4:56. First half. We'll be right back after this. Buccaneers kicking off. Kick into and out of the end zone. Coming up at the half, we'll review some of the stats in our first half of action. We'll also talk about happenings around campus this weekend. Actually, they get underway tomorrow. First serve at
11 a.m. tomorrow for the inaugural Tony Fontenelle Memorial Volleyball Tournament. Saturday will be a first serve of 10 a.m. Lions playing in one contest on Friday at 3:30, and they will have the second and fourth games on Saturday. We'll be live streaming all events, and again this year, because of the South Atlantic Conference historic live streaming deal with Flow Sports, you're able to sign up for Flow Sports through MarsHillLions.com. If you go under the Fan Zone tab, click on either live video or Flow Sports. It'll direct you to the website and you'll be able to create your account there.
Urzua, he's going to get tied up in Buccaneer traffic, and they're going to bring him down for a loss of yardage on that play. That's one of the few times the offensive line allowed the Bucs through, but my goodness, they closed in on him quickly at him at the 16-yard line.
Jalen Porter and Devin Brantley for ETSU able to penetrate that offensive line, and I think last year that was one of the big strengths for the Lions was that offensive line. It allowed Urzua time to make some decisions, make key passing plays throughout the year. And as you mentioned, this is really the first time that ETSU has been able to get to Urzua and put a lot of pressure on him like we just saw.
Second down, Mars Hill. The mark to make is the 35. They're operating from the 16. The pass, it is complete as Keith Coffey reels it in for the Mountain Lions. A new name for us. He's a freshman from Snellville, Georgia. Played at Brookwood High School. Mars Hill moves now to the 24 as we're 3:52 and counting in our first half of action. Buccaneer faithful. They've had a good season opener. Mountain Lions, you know, the good thing about season openers, they only come once a year, and you can get a lot of things learned from that season opener. And I think that's what we're going to be doing. This will be a learning experience for these young men. And, you know, what I'm seeing, Adam, is everything we've seen that has gone wrong is very correctable.
Absolutely. On this last drive, Urzua sacked twice, sacked on this most recent play by number 11, Chandler Martin. But it's one of these things where if you're able to read the defenses and the mental miscues by Urzua with the 2 interceptions the previous 2 drives, it's just a matter of studying game film, matter of reading the defenses, maybe looking over some other options instead. The special teams errors that we've seen early on can certainly be corrected as well. And the good thing for the Lions is they're going to have about a week and a half to do so before they return to play when they host Catawba in the South Atlantic Conference opener on September 17th.
And that has its own bit of positives and negatives because here you are, you're on the road, season opener. It's going to be interesting to see how the second half goes for the Mountain Lions, but being honest, they have a very high proverbial hill to climb in the remaining portion of this contest. You like to get that out of your mind, but you got to wait until Catawba to do so.
Exactly. It's one of those where you certainly want to avenge the mistakes and maybe the errors that you know that you've committed. You want to get right back out there and prove it against another team. But like you said, you got to wait about 16 days, 15 days whenever they return to the field to practice. So it's going to linger in their minds. It's going to stew. But at the same time, you go into this half, put that in your mindset. Second half is going to be a brand new game. So maybe at that point, Lions go, all right, this is game 1.5 rather than the first game of the season.
Back to live game action. We're at 2:20 and counting, quarter number 2. First half thus far, Bucks 34, Mars Hill 0. It's second down 8. Buccaneers operating on the Mars Hill 47. Dropping back is Riddell. He is going to be dropped on the play. Now, Adam, I must say, that was an interesting development there. I'm not sure you can credit Mars Hill with a tackle on that. Saying it was a force might be a little bit generous also, but Riddell he fell down.
He tripped and to steal a line from you, I think Synthetic Jones may have stolen
Absolutely.
A sack away from Jordan Clark, number 95 for the Lions. But you're right. I think Clark was in the area. They may give him credit for that just because he was so near, and maybe they saw ankle on ankle. But either way, it's a big play for the Lions as ETSU is forced back about another 10 yards or so away from the original spot of the first down.
They're going to let the play clock run down, and let's see if the Bucks take a timeout. They are. Buccaneers are going to take a timeout. We'll do the same. Currently, Buccaneers 34, Mars Hill 0. We come back. The Bucks will have it third down from their own 42. This is Mountain Lion football right here on the Mountain Lion Sports Network. Buccaneers going to the air. They've got a man open, and they capitalize as Wilson reels it in for ETSU. It's going to be shy of the first down marker, however, but good playmaking there by the Bucs. It's going to be, let's call it fourth down ETSU from the 41, Adam.
Yeah, and a great pass, a lot of yards picked up, but again, being 3rd and 20, still facing a 4th and 3 situation, kind of in no man's land. This offense. If you punt, you give the Lions an opportunity for either touchback or a decent return. I think maybe ETSU is going to try and force the Lions offside potentially to get this first down. We'll see what they call as the whistle sounds.
ETSU head coach was not happy. Doing various aerobic exercises on the sideline, calls a timeout. We'll step away. Bucs lead 34-0. This is Mountain Lion Football. We'll be right back. .37 ticks remaining in our first half of play. Fourth down, Buccaneers. Let's see if they try a little bit of trickery or they're just going to line up and punt it away. Perhaps try to draw Mars Hill off sides. That's the first option. That didn't work, so they're going to kick it. And it will go into the end zone. I do believe that was not the intent totally on that play, Adam. They had a man down there, could have kept it from rolling in, but he was about 2 steps too slow on that one.
You're right, and I believe it was a Nye Carter, wide receiver for East Tennessee. A ball hit at around the 3-yard line and just came up and rolled back into the end zone. It was about a fingertip or so away, but if you noticed, Lions full on looking for the punt block. There was no return man. They didn't want to have another misplay that we saw in the first quarter. Just let the play happen and get the position that you can. Lions at the 20, and it looks like they may be content just to run this half out.
And if you're Mars Hill on defense on that one, it's like, we're going to send everybody, don't anybody touch the punter.
Yep.
And indeed, that is what Eagle Eye Williams called it right. Mars Hill says, we want this half to just go away.
That's a great shout-out, Stu. That was actually the name of my school paper at my alma mater, the Eagle Eye.
The Eagle Eye.
Look at that. Shout out to Lock Haven.
Absolutely. Timeout on the field as we roll into halftime. Gosh, that's a quick first half, Adam. Mars Hill trails this one, 34-0. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at some stats. In addition to that, we'll talk volleyball, other season that are in the midst of things already. Goodness, golly gracious. We've had volleyball been on the road, soccer's on the road, women's and men's. They've both off some pretty good starts. All sorts of excitement, cross country. They take to the, what did cross country takes to the roads?
Take to the trail.
There we go.
They'll
Take to the trail. We'll even talk that about cross country when we come back. Glad to have you part of this broadcast. This is Mountain Lion Football. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this live broadcast of Mountain Lion football at halftime here at William B. Green Stadium on the campus of East Tennessee State University. Stuart Jolly, Adam Williams along with you. Good contingency of Mars Hill folks made the drive over the ridge. We got a fan bus and our Spirit Team bus. Always glad to have them tagging along. That's kind of a first for us in a long time, bringing that two groups with us, and hope to do more of that throughout the seasons upcoming here, both in the fall and in the spring. But here at the half, Buccaneers 34, Mars Hill 0, and Adam has a breakdown of all the stats.
Yeah, ETSU obviously leading 34-0, outgaining Mars Hill 180 yards on 32 plays to Mars Hill's 84 yards on 34 plays. East Tennessee with the advantage in rushing 38 yards to the Lions' -3, heavily impacted by the 2 sacks recorded towards the end of the half for East Tennessee over Mars Hill. We look at some individual leaders. Jervon Newton for the Lions with 15 yards on the ground. Urzua 9 of 22 with 2 interceptions for 87 yards. And Malik Laurent, the leading receiver for the Lions, with 3 receptions for 30 yards. Keith Coffey, 3 receptions as well for 25 yards. We look at East Tennessee State. Jacob Sailors, 55 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns along the longest play for him, 40-yard rush, the first touchdown of the contest. Tyler Riddell, 10 of 13 in the air, 142 yards for 2 touchdowns. Noah West with 2 receptions for 44 yards, and Will Huzzy with 2 receptions, 25 yards, and 1 touchdown in the air. Elijah Huzzy leading East Tennessee as well with 4.5 tackles on the afternoon, and Daquan Carter, 4.5 tackles for Mars Hill with 1 sack.
That's a quick rundown of the stats from our first half of play. But at the break, the Buccaneers lead the Mountain Lions 34-0. We come back, we'll talk activities that are going on campus all weekend long, and those activities begin tomorrow morning in Chambers Gymnasium. You're listening to Mountain Lion Football on Lion Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Lions Sports Network. Adam Williams here, halftime at the football season opener in Johnson City, Tennessee, as the Lions take on the number 11 ranked East Tennessee State Buccaneers. We did a stat recap just moments ago, but previewing the weekend ahead for Lion Athletics. Tomorrow at 3:30 p.m., the Mars Hill volleyball team opens up their home slate of contests in the inaugural Tony Fontenelle Memorial Volleyball Tournament as they host the King Tornado. Live stat and video links will be available on MarsHillLions.com for the whole tournament, and you'll be able to watch all of the live streamed action through Flow Sports. You can find links if you haven't signed up and created an account through MarsHillLions.com by clicking the Fan Zone tab and clicking on either the live video or the Flow Sports link. Saturday, September 3rd, a busy day in Mars Hill Athletics as the men's and women's cross-country teams kick off their seasons as they travel out to Salisbury, North Carolina to compete in the Catawba Fleet Feet Invite. Women's volleyball has two matches on Saturday as they host Georgia College at 12:15 p.m. and then they will have the final game of the Tony Fontenelle Memorial Volleyball Tournament as they take on Young Harris, a slated start time of 4:45. Of course, because of the tournament-like atmosphere, start times for all games this weekend are subject to change. Soccer teams are back in action as well, as women's soccer will be traveling to Greensboro, North Carolina to play in a neutral site game versus Mount Olive. Now, the Lions will have live stats available, but again, a neutral site contest in Greensboro as they take on Mount Olive. And Mars Hill men's soccer kicking off their home slate of contests, already off to a fantastic start, 3-0 this season. They will host North Greenville at 3:30 inside the Ammons Family Athletic Center and Mears Stadium. Mars Hill men's soccer having early season accolades as sophomore forward Peter Plowman, who was a revelation for the Lions last year as a freshman, certainly a postseason performer, leading the Lions to the South Atlantic Conference Championship contest, was named this past week's South Atlantic Conference Offensive Player of the Week. And just yesterday, in the Lions' 5-1 victory over King, recorded a hat trick in a span of 8 minutes and 3 seconds. Plowman with already 6 goals on the year. You certainly don't want to miss watching him live. Highly encourage anyone listening in the Mars Hill area to come out and support this men's soccer team inside Mears Stadium on Saturday afternoon, as it is their home opener. We're about 3 minutes and 40 seconds away from the start of the second half of play. Lions trailing East Tennessee State 34-0. We'll be back on the Lions Sports Network right after this. Fans, welcome back to the Lions Sports Network. Under a minute to go in the half until the second half of play resumes. Adam Williams with you. Stuart Jolly joining me here momentarily as the teams have taken to the field. Lions about to exit. East Tennessee will be on the receiving end of the second half kickoff, already leading 34-0 after the first half of play. About 30 seconds remain. Lions certainly want to put away that first half in the back of their brains and start from scratch, really. A lot of mental miscues in the first quarter, and then you could see and sense some frustration boiling over into the second quarter, some errant plays, errant passes, and would take nothing away from the East Tennessee State team as well. When the Lions last played East Tennessee, it was in 2018, kind of rebuilding this program, and it was a much closer contest. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was 7-7 at the half. Lions played for about 2 3/4 of that contest. This team now, East Tennessee State, preseason ranked number 11, went 11-2 last year, had big wins over Vanderbilt. Certainly no stranger to South Atlantic Conference competition, as well as in their second game last year defeated UVA Wise by a score of 45-14. Picked up 3 wins against top 25 teams. Season came to an end on December 11th when they fell at North Dakota State, loss of 27-3. This East Tennessee State team certainly a different animal than what we saw just 4 years ago. We'll see how the Lions are able to combat and pick up some victories along the way throughout the quarters for the remainder of this contest.
Quick first half and halftime. Halftime was very efficient.
Yes.
First half, first quarter, we just got off the phone with our good folks over at Chick-fil-A taking care of us, and they've got a couple little snafus we've got to iron out. So I'm going to turn it over to Adam Williams for about the first little bit of the third quarter, and I'll step away. We'll solve some problems, and we'll be right back.
Lions kick it off. It'll be returned by East Tennessee State, tripped up at the 40. Lions with a bit of a pooch kick. Didn't go deep into East Tennessee State territory. Picked up the tackle, was made for the Lions by Kobe Haynes, number 45 for Mars Hill. East Tennessee State with the ball at the 44. Tyler Riddle coming out at quarterback for East Tennessee State. Sailors in the backfield. Ball is snapped. Handoff to Sailors. Cuts to his right. Tackled by Octavius Askew for about a gain of 2 yards. Ball will be at the Buccaneer 47. Last year, the Lion linebacker core, certainly something to behold when you had Jabril Norman, Dexter Fitzpatrick, and Landon Honeycutt. Bit of a different look for the Lions tonight. Honeycutt out there for Marshall, wearing number 35. Octavius Askew, seen quite a bit of playing time in today's contest. Not so much last year. Again, though, tough to advance up that depth chart when you have the studs like Fitzpatrick and Honeycutt securing 2 of those 3 spots. Honeycutt on the rush. Riddle airs it out on the far sideline. And Sanderson, Monroe Sanderson, able to make an unbelievable play. The interception by Monroe Sanderson, juggled the ball, falling backward, backpedaling about 6 or 7 steps, and able to keep his feet in bounds and secure the ball before falling out of play. What a sensational play by Sanderson. Turnover by East Tennessee State. Lion offense will come out at their own 19-yard line. I'm looking at the replay on the big screen here. Sanderson bobbled it about 3 times, once with the left hand, cupped it back over with the right, and as he's falling out of play, able to secure it, hold on, and give the Lions a bit of momentum. Great start for the Lion defense to kick off the second half. Urzua under snap. Snelson in motion. Urzua with the handoff. New running back for the Lions. That's Jeray Morrison, sophomore running back. Didn't see any time in the first half and was a name that I brought up in that first quarter. kind of highlighting a player from last year that really stood out to me, a freshman running back, led the Lions last year on the ground. Just looking at the stats here for a moment, had 623 yards, 8 touchdowns for Jere Morrison last season. 2nd and 4 for the Lions. They give it back to him. He cuts to his right. Explosive off the line of scrimmage. Runs into that tough Buccaneer defense. Looks like maybe a yard gained. Ricky Weeks will come in on the offensive line for Mars Hill as Stephen Hood, his helmet popped off. He'll have to step off for a play. 3rd and 4 for the Lions. 13:15 remaining in the third quarter. Ball on the 25. Urzua looking to the sideline for the call. Urzua relaying the message to the team. Morrison in the backfield. Snelson playing fullback on this play. And Urzua with the handoff to Morrison and gobbled up at the line of scrimmage.
And that's one of those, had he been able to cut it upfield at him again, Mars Hill would have been able to capitalize on multiple yardage, and we're having some extracurricular discussions after the play. And officials wisely step in and say, gentlemen, there's no sense for this. 12:27, third quarter, 34-0. Mountain Lions trailing. And it looks like
there's some confusion because on the scoreboard, they had it at 3rd and 1.
And the ref is showing we've got a timeout. Well, okay, I'm with you. I'm not sure. We got 4th down and 1. And the clock is running. So the ref steps in, and I'm going to see what we can see. We've got a replay monitor high above our head.
I would say from my best observations, the sideline crew had it at 3rd and 1 for the longest time. Marcel offense came off thinking it was 4th and 1. Turned out to be so. Punt unit came out. Some confusion. Play clock ran down to 0. It was a forced snap before everyone eventually decided, hold on.
And
Let's just play this
says we're going to go to a TV timeout. We'll do the same. Mountain Lions trail 34-0 on the Mountain Lions Sports Network. Buccaneers on the return as we go back to live action. Adam, I think if you rewound the last 3 minutes, I'm still not sure anybody would really know what happened.
Yeah, not quite sure where the miscommunication was or what either team or the officials were thinking. We'll call it early season jitters.
And they didn't reset the clock or anything.
Exactly. The play clock kept running. I think that's what was really throwing both teams off. Ultimately, Mars Hill punts it away. Huzzy breaks a couple tackles, gets the ball out to the Buccaneer 42, and they'll start their second drive of the second half.
Mountain Lions trail 34-0 as we're just underway early in our second half of action. As Adam was saying during the halftime, exciting weekend of volleyball, honoring our good friend Tony Fontenelle, longtime volleyball coach for the Mountain Lions, and Tony did so many really good things for the program. And he was one of those guys that when you saw him during game day, you saw him away from for the game. You saw him anywhere in town. You saw him, in our case, sometimes up in the press box helping during home football games. He was always the same guy, and that guy was somebody that was fun-loving and jovial and just a great personality. And we are, it is still difficult sometimes to turn some of those corners and chambers and not see Tony. But wherever I do, I kind of hear him in my head with some of his mischief, no matter what. And unbeknownst to so many of you that sit through our games or listen to any of the games, little did you know, up there in the press box, in the Merrill press box, whether it was Rick Baker, it was me, or Adam Williams, or Josh Matthews, or any of that crew, and Tony on the providing music and such, people would have paid really good money, wouldn't they, Adam, to have watched some of the fun that we had up there, all in jest, all in good fun, joking with each other, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make things work, and Adam and Josh make it look easy, but folks like Tony, they helped us get through some of those stressful days with comments that you look at them and you just smile real big and know that, hey, life's fun, let's keep on going. Meanwhile, back here, we come in out of we're going to say that was a call timeout. The media purposes, and now back East Tennessee State with the football, driving goal to our right. They lead this contest 34-0. My goodness, come barreling through, Adam Williams, defensively for Mars Hill.
Say Landon Honeycutt exploding through that offensive line. A big sack for Honeycutt. Led the South Atlantic Conference last year with 105 tackles. I believe 9 for loss last year. Was an all-region first-team selection. An incredible year for Landon Honeycutt, and certainly a leader on this defense, and could be the catalyst for change on this defense as well.
Second down, 17 for the Bucks. Thought they were going to keep it on the ground. No, they're going to go there. The pass it is complete to Will Huzzy. And Huzzy tries to cut it upfield, but not before that Lion defense says, no, you're not going to do it this time on us. They will gain some yardage, but nothing significant on that play, Adam.
Say Jabril Norman and Nick Jackson on the tackle for Mars Hill. Huzzy had the touchdown reception towards the end of the half, having a solid outing thus far for the Buccaneers, but a solid stop for the Lions. It is 3rd and I believe 13 now for the Buccaneers.
The mark to make is the Mars Hill 48. The ball squarely on the 37 of the Bucks. Play clock down to 9. Spreading the field. They've got effectively 4 receivers they can go to on this play. Trail goes to the air. He has a man. Flag comes rolling in. I think that's a good call. Mars Hill defender got just tied up a little bit with the ETSU receiver. So that's going to bring that play back. However, there is a additional set of flags, this time on the offensive side of things. So we are going to see if they offset. I didn't see the one in the backfield thrown. I did see the one downfield on the pass interference. We are effectively up here in the press box. We don't hear any of these calls. Roughing the passer. Against Mars Hill. Adam, I didn't catch that second. I think pass interference, the second one. So they're going to take the greater of the yardage that will benefit the Bucks, and so it will be Buccaneers 1st and 10. That will move them inside Mars Hill territory at the 48.
Say, looking to our right on the scoreboard, the roughing the passer call well earned. It was certainly a hit, maybe 2 seconds after the ball was thrown. Certainly a late hit, but again, the pass interference call certainly allowing the Buccaneers to take over in Mars Hill territory as the handoff is taken by Sailors.
Sailors working his way down near the 42-yard line. Mount Lions coming in defensively on that in the form of Jordan Clark, the junior from Tavares, Florida. He played at Tavares High School, one of the long line of quality players that Mars Hill has coming out of that talented pipeline from the state of Florida. Credit that to Coach Barnett and some outstanding relationships over the decades with many of our former line players that are head coaches in Florida. The pass, it is complete. It will be sufficient yardage for the first down and more, as ETSU will now move down to the 30, make that the 29-yard line, Adam.
Will Huzzy with his 4th reception on the day, putting him at 41 yards on the evening, being able to cut in front of Tristan Rankin, jump up high, and pull down that reception for the first down.
Buccaneers electing to keep it on the ground and just churning out the yardage. There is a flag down, however, at the 32. The runner is down at the 17. Holding indicated against the Buccaneers, so that will negate any gain of yardage on that play. Quick recap, 9-11, third period. Buccaneers lead this one 34-0. Mars Hill's had some really good defensive stance and has given up some plays simply because of some mental errors, I think, more than anything else, Adam. Things that, as we said at halftime, everything we've seen that gone wrong, are those type things that are obvious and can be corrected. Liddell goes to the air. Is it going to be sufficient for the first down? No. He'll be brought down shy of, well, he's just barely going to be +3 inside the original line of scrimmage on that play, but it will continue the drive. 8:39. Buccaneers lead this one 34-0. Stu and Adam along with you. Adam, at this point, if you're the Mountain Lions, you have to be thinking, okay, we've got to get something going. We've got to be able to at least put something on the board this go-around because we know where we were late last season.
And a good play there is Honeycutt forces Riddle out of bounds. The pass incomplete, forcing another 3rd and long situation. It was a great start for the line defense in the second half as Monroe Sanderson made a sensational play on the interception. You would think that would have given the Lions a bit of momentum. The offense unable to click, and then, of course, the penalty early on in this drive that allowed East Tennessee to continue on down the field. If they can come up with a stop here or at least force a field goal attempt, again, we talk about these little minor victories kind of building up and leading ahead to that contest 2 weeks from now.
3rd down for the Buccaneers on the Mars Hill 26-yard line. Bucks lead 34-0. Scrambling is the QB from the Buccaneers. Lions in pursuit. The pass is away. It is caught. Where is it caught? In the end zone for an ETSU touchdown as Will Huzzy, number 9, reels it in for the Bucks. 8:07 mark, period number 3, Adam.
It's kind of a bit of a broken play for East Tennessee State as Riddle rolled out to his left, was looking for that wide receiver. DBs, I believe there's a bit of miscommunication there for the Lions, allowing Huzzy to get wide open in the back left corner of the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the day, his 5th reception, and 67 yards on the contest thus far.
Gallardette's in for the point after. The kick is true. Timeout on the field. Buccaneers 41, Mountain Lions 0. 8:07, 3rd period right here on the Mountain Lion Sports Network.
Fans, welcome back to the Lions Sports Network. Coming off of that last Buccaneers drive that saw East Tennessee State roll their lead up to 41. It was about 8:07 remaining in the third quarter of play. Lions will be set to receive the kickoff. Both teams break their huddles. Again, this Lion football team will be next in action, opening up South Atlantic Conference play on Saturday, September 17th, inside the Ammons Family Athletic Center in Mears Stadium, as the Lions will host the Catawba Indians. Lions last season in conference, undefeated in Mears Stadium, a perfect 4-0 record, went 6-2 in the South Atlantic Conference. And in the final game of the year against the Wingate Bulldogs, had an opportunity to play for the South Atlantic Conference Championship, or at least a share of it. As the ball is kicked to the 1-yard line, it'll be fair caught. I believe that is Lymeek Washington, freshman for the Lions. It seems to be a bit of a scuffle at the 20-yard line, Mars Hill and East Tennessee State. You can certainly sense some frustration on the Mars Hill side, trailing 41-0. 8:07 in the third. The offense will take to the field. This Buccaneer defense is certainly able to put pressure on the Lion offense, not allow a lot of time or space for graduate quarterback Jimmy Urzua to make a play. Urzua preseason all-SAC selection this year, the first time in his career. In the backfield, Jere Morrison. Morrison takes the handoff, cuts to the right, is able to gain about 2 yards on the play. We haven't seen Javon Newton in the second half. Took a majority of the snaps in the first. Morrison, once again, a sophomore. Newton, a graduate running back for the Lions. A lot of new faces on this Lion team, but a lot of returning offensive linemen. One of the strengths for Mars Hill last year was that offensive line. Urzua with the play action goes through the hands of Malik Laurent. Would have been a first down if he was able to hold on to it. Laurent, that was his 8th target on the evening. 3 receptions for 30 yards, leading the Lions. Longest reception, 15 yards on the day. We haven't seen either, or we haven't called his name in a long time. Tice Nelson, graduate tight end for Mars Hill, was a second-team All-American selection by AP and D2 CCA. Led the SAC last year with 9 touchdown receptions. Urzua airs it out once more, looking for Keith Coffey. He collects the ball, but out of play. Urzua just off with his passes all evening, running to 9-24 in the contest. Coffey made an athletic grab. It's just too bad the sideline wasn't pushed back about another yard or two. Punt unit will come out for Mars Hill. Hunter Bridges to take it, wearing the white leg sleeve on the right leg. Back for East Tennessee State is Elijah Huzzy, who nearly scored on a punt return earlier in the first half. Huzzy watches that one roll over his head. The ball keeps rolling. It's a great Mars Hill bounce, and eventually will be down at the 9-yard line. Ball originally touched at about the 30. Fortunate roll for the Lions. A great punt by Hunter Bridges, forcing the Buccaneers deep in their own territory. Just over a minute lapsed off the clock. 7:04 remaining in the third quarter. And we're going to step away here momentarily as we are in a media timeout. You're listening to Mars Hill Football on the Lions Sports Network.
Welcome back to East Tennessee State University. Stuart Jolly, Adam Williams along with you. Glad to have you logged on our way with tonight's live broadcast of Mountain Lion football, coming to you from William Green Stadium, the campus of East Tennessee State University. Before the sunset this evening, you look out of this stadium and see the old mini dome where many years the Buccaneers played, but into this new stadium 4 years ago, and it's a good one. Buccaneers with the football. They're going to bring it out, about to the 13-yard line. It's a 41-0 ball game, and Adam, it's pretty much been all Buccaneers.
It has been, especially since that. I hate to keep going back to it, but they got all that momentum from the misplayed punt in the first quarter. At that point, it was really just a difference between maybe one or two plays for the Lions. But since that point, this Buccaneer offense, they haven't taken any opportunity for granted. They've been able to capitalize, move down the field, force this Lion defense to be out there for quite a long time, wear them down, and eventually capitalize by getting into the end zone.
Buccaneers elect to keep it on the ground. They're going to churn things out straight ahead. Moving to perhaps the 17-yard line. It will be third down, 2 yards to go. 6:07, third period. Buccaneers 14, Mars Hill 0. Good group of Mars Hill fans on hand. Those include many parents that made their way up for this season opener. The pass, it is broken up. Good playmaking there by the Mountain Lions, Adam.
Yeah, Tristan Rankin able to break up that pass, and one of the more sure-handed defensive backs that you're going to see, especially in the South Atlantic Conference. Rankin last year with 8 interceptions, one away from tying the school record for most in a season. Right there could have been an easy pick six if he was able to secure the ball at around the 20-yard line. There was no one else in sight. Either way, though, a good defensive play by the Lions to break up that potential first down and force a punt out of the Buccaneers.
Jahari Mitchell will go deep for Mars Hill. He have his heels on about the 48-yard line, the Mars Hill 48. And referee steps in, and ETSU will take a timeout. We will do the same. Buccaneers 41, Mountain Lion 0, right here on the Mountain Lion Sports Network. Welcome back to East Tennessee State University. Your road crew with you. Well, sometimes we're the home crew too. Adam Williams, Stuart Jolly. Mars Hill family made its way over the mountains to East Tennessee State University. The kick is away. Mars Hill will call for the fair catch in the person of Jahari Mitchell, the 5'11", 170-pound junior from Shelby, North Carolina, played for the Golden Lions of Shelby High School. And if you know anything about football in North Carolina, each and every year it is the Golden Lions that are in the hunt for championships in North Carolina in their division. 5:37, Mountain Lions trail in this contest, 41-0. Urzua, 9 of 24 on passing. For ETSU, Tyler Adele, 14 of 19. 197 yards to Mars Hill's 87. Urzua drops back. Pass is in the air. It is caught deep inside ETSU territory as Malik Laurent brings it in for the Mountain Lions at the 25-yard line. First down yardage and more for Mars Hill. Biggest pass play of the evening for the Mountain Lions. So it's going to be first down, 10 yards to go, Mountain Lions. On the 25-yard line, of the Buccaneers, a contest in which Mars Hill trails 41-0, and even 5 minutes to go in the third quarter of action. Play clock down to 10. Urzua, 3 steps back, looking. Pass is in the air. It is caught. Had to get airborne to do it, but Keith Coffey reels it in for Mars Hill. Coffey, a 6'4 freshman from Snellville, Georgia, 205 pounds, played for Brookwood High School. Mars Hill continuing their drive, 1st and 10. This time on the 11-yard line of the Buccaneers. 4:31 and counting, third period action. Mars Hill, the deepest they've been into Buccaneer territory. 3 steps back is Urzua. He scrambles, looking for a receiver. Everyone covered up. Urzua says, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to run with it myself. And he does. Staying in bounds, they'll crank the clock as Urzua looks like he's out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Indeed, that's where they will mark it. So Mars Hill will continue this drive. It will be 2nd down, 4 yards to go. They can make the first down without making the TD. So the mark to make is the 1-yard line of the Buccaneers. A little bit surprised the Buccaneers haven't burned a timeout just to kind of settle things down defensively. 2 receivers near side. Urzua to the air. Pass. It is incomplete. The intended target is Malik Laurent. And Laurent had his hands on it, just could not keep them on the football. So it's 3rd and 4. Mountain Lions from the 5. Best position they've been in the entire game. .329 on the game clock. 5 on the play clock. 8 on the play clock. Urzua, he connects. Favorite target there, Adam Williams.
Ty Snelson on the reception for the first touchdown of the 2022 season for the Mars Hill Lions. I mentioned earlier in the quarter where we hadn't mentioned Snelson's name hardly at all, especially in the second, maybe a couple times in the first quarter. Have to get Ty Snelson involved. 9 touchdown receptions last year to lead the South Atlantic Conference. Good to see those two catch up on this play.
Well, we kicked off at 7:32. It took us until 9:54 to get on the board, but the Mountain Lions have some points on the board against the Buccaneers. Point after, it is good. Timeout on the field. Buccaneers 41, Mars Hill 7, right here on the Mountain Lions Sports Network. .41 the score, 3:21, third period. Mountain Lions, saw some yellow, thought about App State. They've got a big game this weekend against Carolina up at Kid Brewer Stadium. But meanwhile, back here in what used to be their old opponent, ETSU Stadium, Mars Hill on the board late in this third period of play. And Adam, that was a very solid series by Mars Hill. That's what they've been looking for the entire first half. This time they got it to click.
Yeah, certainly wish you could have found that in the first half, but again, we've talked about these minor victories throughout, and being able to break out that shutout bid is big for the Lions. And then on this kickoff return, Jaquan Newton with a touchdown-saving tackle, although East Tennessee State, ball deep in Mars Hill territory at the 32, bobbled snap by backup quarterback Baron May, gets the ball away before he's taken down by Dimipi Lamboni, changing his number from 57 to 42 this year. No loss on the play as the ball was out of May's hand before Lamboni takes him down. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 32. Just over 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Lions trail 41-7. Having a bye week next weekend before kicking off the South Atlantic Conference slate of contests on Saturday the 17th. Rush up the middle by the Buccaneers, swallowed up by a host of Lions. It looks like a gain of, I believe, 6 on the play. The ball was taken up the gut by number 17, Trey Foster. Seeing a lot of new names, new faces on the field for the Buccaneers with a comfortable lead late in this game. It'll be 3rd and 5, ball on Mars Hill 27. May lined up in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right. Lions show blitz. They do bring someone. Big block by Newton as the ball is aired out into the end zone. It will be out of play. The reception was made. Unable to stay in bounds. Reception was caught by Anai Carter. East Tennessee will send out the field goal unit. 2:15 remaining in the third. And looking at the replay, clearly out by about a yard or so. Be a field goal attempt. About a 34-yard attempt for the Buccaneers. Taking the kick will be Tyler Keltner. Ball is snapped. Keltner's kick is up. And it is good. East Tennessee State now up 44-7 with just over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. We're going to take a break here on the Lion Sports Network. We'll be back momentarily. Welcome back, Lion fans. East Tennessee State kick goes into the end zone. Will be a touchback for the Lions. They'll start with the ball at their own 25. Looks like the main set of starters for the Lions are coming out, especially on the offensive line. And actually, as we do look, backup quarterback Brody Whitson will be under center for the Lions. Jeray Morrison in the backfield. Brendan Chapman and Wilkes Riggins as wideouts on this series. Whitson fakes the hands off. The left-handed quarterback finds Wilkes Riggins, and Riggins will get a first down as he cuts between 2 Buccaneer defenders. Ball moved out to the Mars Hill 39. Whitson has a bit of an interesting story. Son of a Mars Hill alum. Last season, instead of starting as a quarterback in any contest, his first action was as a punter for the Lions. Was able to see a few plays under snap. Finds Wilkes Riggins once more towards the line sideline. Pass is caught. 2 for 2 for Whitson as the Lions continue to march down the field.
And those of you that follow T.C. Robertson football, that should be a familiar name for you. And those of you that were part of the following football with the Blackhawks of North Buncombe High School, Randy Whitson, great athlete for the Blackhawks, and then came to Mars Hill as a punter. And, well, just carrying on the great tradition, and we're glad this young man's part of the Mountain Lion family. 1:35 to go in our third period of action. Whitson looking, scrambling. Pass is thrown. The intended target was number 87, Brooks Harris, the sophomore at 6'2", from Louisville, Kentucky. That will bring up third down, 10 yards to go for the Mountain Lions. Brody Whitson, a 6-foot sophomore from Fletcher, North Carolina, played for the Rams of T.C. Robertson. Multi-sport athlete for the Rams. Whitson looks, pass is thrown. Intended target was Snelson. Good defensive coverage on that play by Zach West, the outside linebacker for the Buccaneers. It will be fourth down, 10 yards to go. And Adam, really, anytime you've got a QB change, you'd rather have something besides 4 downs and out. But when you're trailing 44-7, and you really don't have any major errors on that first group of plays with that young man, I think that's a good start.
Certainly is, and you want to try and rest what we would deem as, or what we would consider as, the starters ahead of conference play. Again, trailing by this much, there's really no reason to risk potential injury for, players that you think are going to lead you back to a South Atlantic Conference championship game towards the end of the year. Get some snaps in for the young, talented Brody Whitson and some of these young players too, to build up their confidence, and certainly just gives the coaches another look too. They've had practice and they've had training camp, but you see them in game type scenarios. Maybe one of these players advances up to that starting position on the depth chart as a penalty is being relayed by the official.
And it will be a holding penalty. And let's see how that gets sorted out in terms of where we end up with yardage on that play. It will be holding indicated against the Bucks on that return portion of the series. So that's going to back the Buccaneers to the 19-yard line. That's pretty much that's been one of the poorer starting positions for East Tennessee. First and 10, Bucks lead in this one, 44-7. Keeping it on the ground, coming near side. Following his blockers, good playmaking there. Looks like the pigskin may have popped out. And let's see who steps in and says this is what has happened. The referee step in. Mars Hill players pointing one direction. The gentleman clad in the black pants and the striped shirt are saying, no, it didn't happen that way. ETSU will continue their drive, and they do.
And this is the second time tonight that we've seen this. I believe it was maybe the second play of East Tennessee's first drive, where the Lions thought they had forced a fumble. Play was down beforehand. See a replay of the same thing here. Smart play by the Buccaneers, though, to get that ball off in time before anything can be challenged or looked at.
And we've got the replay booth over to our left. Buccaneers on this play, they will have no gain as they try to follow off left tackle. Nothing there. So it will be second down, 10 yards to go. Bucks. They lead this contest 44-7. Mars Hill, after this game, will have a significant break before they take on Catawba. And referee steps in and says we will roll into quarter number 4. They did get the snap off. We wrap things up. ETSU 44, Mars Hill 7. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this. Welcome back to William Green Stadium on the campus of East Tennessee State University in the foothills of East Tennessee. Good crowd on hand, Adam, for a season opener for a school this size. I think they're back in classes. This may be week number 2 for them. Some new personnel in various positions over here and for Mars Hill, and we'll get an opportunity. We'll talk more about it as the season goes on. We've got a lot of new faces on the Mars Hill campus in the athletic department, and we're looking ahead for great things with men's basketball, women's basketball. Emory Storis, Emory's taking over the outline women's program, and all sorts of energy in that program now. And Larry Davis, if you followed Carolina football in either form, north or south, you know the name of Larry Davis, and he's got things squaring away for those young men, and we expect an exciting season for both of those squads. I've seen numerous players down in the gym shooting and just putting in the time that we kind of got away from last few years, and they're doing that, and particularly in a lot of the women's team there last couple of days, and they're excited. Men's team, same way, they're excited. We're in the final phase of getting some locker rooms upgraded and built for them, and I can tell you, being one of the guys that's been swinging the hammer and doing some floors thanks to Tatum Boggs and Mike Smith. Larry Davis has helped out on that, and gosh, that wouldn't have been possible. Also, tip of the hat to Josh Matthews and his dad Rick. They did a lot of the drywall work, and Adam, as you and I know, we've got a small group of worker bees, but my goodness, good work.
Well, of course, and we talk so much about the Mars Hill family and how we step in various aspects, whether it's building locker rooms or coming together to work athletic events or help out with events on campus. You certainly do get that feel, and the names that you rattled off, certainly great members of the Mars Hill community.
Back to live action as we get underway in quarter number 4. Buccaneers in front of this one 44-7. They elect to keep it on the ground. They're going to churn out some yards. Couple of things on that. One, it eats up some clock. 2, it allows them to just kind of see what some other options they have offensively as they begin to mix things up, and new personnel coming in on both sides of the field. I was thinking in the olden days you'd be able to look at these jerseys and say, well, you got some new personnel out there because they don't have any green on their jerseys, but everything having gone synthetic lately with the fields, it makes the guy doing the laundry or young lady doing the laundry a whole lot easier on those members of the athletic support staff. 44-7 our score. If you are tuned our way, we thank you as we move into on our Lions sports broadcast. We'll be using YouTube Live, I do believe, is the correct terminology.
Yes, we'll be using YouTube for our radio broadcasts, hoping to get to the road more often this year. I mean, certainly pre-pandemic, we were able to do those as often as we were able to. But, these last 2 years, as crazy as the world has been, We're finally getting back to a sense of normalcy in terms of how to cover Lion athletics, and certainly for the home events, the new deal struck with the South Atlantic Conference with Flow Sports. You're able to sign up for an account if you haven't gotten one yet through MarsHillLions.com. If you go to the Fan Zone tab and click on Flow Sports or Live Video.
Punt is away. Mars Hill will field it in the person of Jahari Mitchell. He's a junior, Shelby, North Carolina. We talked about him. That's a name you'll be hearing all season long. But again, as Adam was saying, you just kind of follow us on the home of Mars Hill Athletics, MarsHillLions.com. Adam is he's the worker bee behind the scenes on that keeps the social media home of the Lions and everything else going on there. But follow us, ladies and gentlemen, because it's kind of a work in progress this year. The South Atlantic Conference made a decision to go to a paid format on broadcast for all league schools, and that creates some interesting challenges on some broadcasting in terms of the traditional radio approach to things. And thanks to Adam, who did a lot of, I was going to say a late night researching, but he's kind of a night owl anyway. So he's able to pull all that together, and on some short notice you made it work, Adam. So thank you very much. Adam is nocturnal in nature for the most part.
It's very true.
Mars Hill reels it in on that one, Adam, beginning to move the football one more time as Barry reels it in, the freshman from Dakula, Georgia.
Yeah, Musa Berry with his first collegiate reception. Again, Brody Whitson, it says he's 1 for 5. I think that may have been a little misleading here on the stats, but Whitson's looked fine under pressure here. The Lions certainly trying to get some young players in. I do want to jump back a handful of plays, though. The play that allowed the Lions to come up with the ball and force that punt opportunity, Tarshawn Reed broke right through that offensive line, swatted that ball away. Reed's been pretty impressive on that defensive line. Incomplete pass there for the Lions on this recent play. It's going to bring up 4th and 1, and certainly in this point in time, Lions certainly have to look at it, or look for going for it, excuse me.
4th down and 1, Mars Hill. The ball just across the 22-yard line. The mark to make squarely on the 23. 13-20 and counting. The play clock to 10. Whitson at the QB position. Handoff. Keeping it on the ground. That's going to be real close, Adam. You've got the better spot on that than I do from this angle. That is going to be near the first down marker.
I'd say from this angle, it looks like it's about a step past, and we do see the chains move on the far sideline. The rush was taken by Lafayette Gervin Jr. I believe that's the first time we've seen him this evening. Big first down for the Lions, and again, just trying to continue that momentum, work on some plays, and drive down the field.
1st and 10, Mars Hill from the 24. If you're Tim Clifton, you have to be hoping that you see good things from Brody Whitson, because as talented as Jimmy Urzui is, when you have an extra option to go to, it, I think, takes some pressure off of Urzua. You know, you have to say, okay, having a good game, we're going to go with this. We have the option, we can do this. If a 2-quarterback group of talent works real well, they complement each other, and these guys, they get along well. And hey, it's all about let's move the football down the field, let's put some points on the board.
It gives you different looks, but as well too, this is Jimmy's last season with the Lions, so you have to start getting Brody more familiar with the offense, especially if he is going to be the future for the next 2-3 seasons.
2nd down. Check that. 3rd down and 10, Mars Hill. The mark to make will be the 34. Mountain Lions trailing this one, 44-7. It has been, for the most part, all ETSU, with a few miscues and a few mental errors that have tallied greatly against the Mountain Lions. Now back to live action. Play clock is down to 7. Brody Whitson looking. He's being pursued. Let's see. He gets away from 1, 2, 3. Passes in the air. It is dropped And that is, credit that primarily to number 22, George Odominju, who was right there bringing pressure from the ETSU Buccaneer defensive unit. Hard to hold on to the football when there's this very large human right behind you that makes contact the minute you have your hands on the football. And Unjuwanju, he is a sizable young man. You would let him in front of you at Walmart if he were there. The kick is away. It is a high punt. Buccaneers call for the fair catch. They do that in traffic, but they'll have the football at the 44-yard line. Adam, tomorrow, volleyball first serve gets underway at
11 a.m. on Friday. We will have live coverage, both video and live stat links available for all 4 contests on Friday, as well as all 4 on Saturday. Saturday starts an hour early. Each match is scheduled for about a 2-hour and 15 slot. So we're going at 11 a.m., about 1:15, et cetera, on Friday, 10 a.m., 12:15, et cetera, on Saturday. Lions play once on Friday at 3:30, and then they have the second and fourth games of the Saturday 4-game block. First match on Saturday will be against Georgia College at 12:15, and then they'll close out the tournament versus Young Harris at 4:45.
We'll step away. We'll take this break. Buccaneers 44, Mars Hill 7, right here on the Lion Sports Network. Welcome back to live action as we wind things down in our fourth quarter of play. 12-13 remaining. Buccaneers with the football, and they're going to elect to keep things on the ground, just kind of grind things out, keep that clock running, and work their way through this contest. And Buccaneers, they don't get that break that Mars Hill does between games. The 10th, they are at the Citadel, and then they come back home on the 17th against Furman. That's the same day. Mount Lions are at home against Catawba. That will be a 1 p.m. game. All the games at Mars Hill are at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, with the exception of homecoming, which this year will be at 2:30. So be sure and adjust that on your calendar. I know pretty much as long as I can remember, homecoming is kicked off at 1:30. But they made some schedule adjustments, and this year Mars Hill will have homecoming football kicking off at 2:30 against Emory and Henry.
Correct.
If I do remember correctly. And that will be a conference game as the Wasp fly into Mears Stadium. That's a first. I don't think we've played them in Mears Stadium before, so that is a new opponent for Mars Hill. At least on the football side of things. Third down for ETSU. They're looking to go to the air. They elect otherwise to tuck it down. They're going to run with it. QB says, hey, I can do this. Watch, I have speed. Follow me. And that's exactly what the Mars Hill defenders do. And they bring him down at approximately the 42-yard line. Good speed from that young man, Baron May.
Lions brought everyone on the blitz, and the ETSU blockers able to do a solid job to open up a hole for Baron May. May looks, he doesn't see a linebacker there. He goes, you know what? I'm just going to take off with a good gain to get that first down as the clock continues to tick down.
Watching him breathe up here on the big screen, I have to think he's thinking to himself, Coach, take a long time to send in this call because I'm a little bit winded. And again, they're electing to keep it on the ground this time. I didn't think they're going to say, hey, May, you take off with it. He's glad they didn't choose that. Barreling ahead will go ETSU, a Mars Hill player, coming up with, well, he's back, as they say, under his own power, and he's walking toward the sideline. Trainer's coming in, checking on him, and he will go off. Great training staff of Mars Hill. We are very blessed by a talented group of young men and young ladies that take good care of our athletes, and just another one of those groups of people you may not see very often behind the scenes. All they do, but oh my goodness, from early in the morning to late at night, they keep those training rooms running. And hats off to Alan Shelley and his great crew. Year in and year out, one of the best, if not the best, athletic training groups anywhere you're going to find. Buccaneers go to the air. That was a great pass play out of Williams. The receiver just simply could not hold on to the football. Otherwise, he'd have been out at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, dangerous play by East Tennessee State. Adriel Clark with the dropped reception, just maybe a fingertip shy of being able to haul that ball in. Almost a perfect pass, too, by Baron May, just to lay that past the Mars Hill defensive back and almost directly into the hands of Clark. A good break for the Lions as he wasn't able to possess it.
Third down, ETSU. The ball on the 36-yard line of Mars Hill. The mark to make is the Hill 32. QB drops the ball, picks it back up. Baron May puts it into the air. It is incomplete. I'll give May credit. He made something happen when it just looked like this was not going to go well for the young man.
Say, bobbled the snap and then rolled out to his right. Tried almost an identical pass and basically an identical result. In the fingertips of Adriel Clark, drops it. Would have easily tiptoed into the end zone if he was able to hold on to it. And again, another fortunate break for the Lions as the field goal unit comes out for the Buccaneers.
This will be a 53-yard attempt. There is no wind. 9:06 remaining. High enough, long enough. It is no good. We had to wait for the signal because from our angle, it looked awful good. But no, it is no good. So timeout on the field. Bucks 44, Lions 7, right here on the Mountain Lion Sports Network. Welcome back to ETSU's Green Stadium. Stuart Johnny, Adam Williams along with you. We have a busload of fans that made the trip over. We have a busload of Spirit team members that made the trip over. We got some graduates on there with students and some trustees and all varieties of the Lion family having come over for this ball game this evening. So we say thank you to all those people coming and being a part of the Mountain Lion audience and cheering behind their team this evening. We come in out of this television break, and Mountain Lions begin this drive. 1st and 10, operating from their own 36-yard line. Electing to keep it on the ground this time. A little bit surprised, Adam, the Mountain Lions didn't go to the air on the first play.
Yeah, at this point in the game, trailing by as much as you are, why not take a couple risks here and there? Lafayette Gervin with the carry. Perhaps it's one of those where the Lions may understand, hey, the match has been met. Let's kind of get our guys home safe and kind of, start preparing for 2 weeks down the line when conference play opens up. The games that you don't want to say this one doesn't matter, but though the conference games certainly count on the schedule and certainly count towards the ultimate goal of becoming a conference champion.
Whitson scrambles. Southpaw gets the pass away. Let's see. The receiver is in. Yes, indeed, he is. That will be first down yardage and more. Mars Hill as Whitson moves the Mountain Lions down the field. Good playmaking there by the sophomore.
Yeah, Whitson with a great pass, and Musa Berry, the freshman that we talked about in the last drive, kind of backpedaling, able to keep his foot in bounds as Whitson was rolling out to his left. Great job to get that 1 foot down and maintain possession as they cross midfield.
Little adjustment on that very similar play, and again, same results. Pass is complete. Mars Hill will continue their drive. And yes, we know there's some fresh personnel on both sides of the football, but still, Brooks Harris, I do believe, on that reception, Anna, able to continue the drive. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Whitson looking, now scrambling. Pass is away. It is caught. First down yardage and then some for the Mountain Lions on the reception. Number 84, Brennan Chapman, the junior from Rosman, North Carolina, played for the Tigers at Rosman High School over in Transylvania County. That'll move the sticks for Mars Hill. Adam, good playmaking here on this series by Mars Hill.
It looked like Whitson was just going to put his head down and rush ahead, but lobbed the ball in between 2 defenders and was able to find Chapman to pick up the first down.
Whitson had a man open, but the defenders from ETSU able to close the gap quickly. But give credit to Barry. He was able to hang in there. Had he been about a step in front of those 2 defenders, that pass play would have been successful. 44-7 the score. 6:48. Quarter number 4. Buccaneers in front. Up by 37. Whitson scrambles. Pass is thrown. And that will bring up 3rd down for Mars Hill. As some fresh personnel coming in, going to change up some of our receivers. And don't be surprised if the Mountain Lions don't pretty much, if you're eligible as a receiver, they're going to send you on this play, Adam.
I see 82 come out onto the field for Mars Hill. It's Caleb Lomanak, very aware in kind of understanding of the Lions as he was with UVA Wise last year. He was able to transfer over to become one of the tight end options for the Lions, a sophomore. So it's good to see as much personnel involved as possible, especially in this kind of game. Put them in this environment, get their legs underneath them, and again, just kind of get them somewhat familiar with what we're bound to see throughout the rest of the season.
4th down and 10, Mars Hill. The Mountain Lions will be in to attempt. It will be a 33-yard field goal attempt. The snap the set, the kick. It is no good. Timeout on the field. Buccaneers 44, Mars Hill 7 on the Mountain Lion Sports Network. A busy Friday and Saturday for Mountain Lion Athletics. Volleyball getting underway tomorrow with the Tony Fontenelle Classic. I think that Tony Fontenelle Memorial.
Yes, Tony Fontenelle Memorial Volleyball Tournament, the inaugural one. Also going on for Mars Hill Athletics this weekend, the cross-country teams kick off their season at the Catawba Fleet Feet Invite.
Fleet Feet Invite down in Salisbury. They'll stop and probably get some cheerwine along the way.
There you go.
As that is the home to Food Lion and Cheerwine, if you know anything about North Carolina. I was talking to some of those guys. They leave at 5 a.m. Saturday morning. I think they start that run at like 8:30. I've traveled the world over, and it's a short list of places I can think that I want to leave at 5 a.m. to go run somewhere. But I have left early to go stand in line. So, great group of young people. And men's soccer at home, have I heard that? Is that the case in Mirror Stadium?
Men's soccer home opener versus North Greenville. Lions off to a fantastic start, 3-0. Big win yesterday against King, 5-1. Peter Plowman is having a sensational start to the year. The defending SAC Offensive Player of the Week had a hat trick in a span of 8:03 yesterday. 6 goals on the season already. Again, I can go on and on about Peter and the men's soccer team. And then women's soccer in neutral site play. They're going to be taking on Mount Olive out in Greensboro, North Carolina. That'll be a 4 p.m. kickoff. We'll have live stats. Unfortunately, there will not be a video stream for that event, but we will have stats available on MarsHillLions.com for all of the events that we just mentioned.
Nothing like a Saturday afternoon event in the hot sun of Guilford County, ladies and gentlemen. But, hey, we have a large contingency of Mars Hill alum in the Guilford, Winston-Salem, High Point, Greensboro area. If you get a chance, come out and watch those young ladies. Just a great team, and you will be amazed at some of the talent that we put on the field. New coaching staff this year for the Mountain Lions. Let's talk a little bit about that, Adam. Some familiar faces in some different places with that.
Correct, yeah. Head coach Holly Rawcliffe started last fall as the graduate assistant for the women's soccer team. In the spring was promoted to the assistant coach and then did a year with the Lions team then. Now this year promoted to head coach, and in her first contest versus Lees McRae, a crazy game to open up the season for Mars Hill and women's soccer, was able to avenge their opening season defeat from last year versus Lees McRae. Took down the Bobcats 1-0 in about 70 minutes of play. There were 4 lightning delays. The game took about 3 hours, and it was raining so hard at one point in the press box, no one could actually see what was going on. It was a good call by, we mentioned athletic trainers and how they do their job and protect our athletes as best as possible. Caleb Strother, athletic trainer, for that team. But a big win for Coach Rawcliffe, and seeing the passion she has for this sport and turning that program around. It's hard to root against her. And a tough loss on the road yesterday versus Lander, but looking to get back in the saddle and see if they can take down Mount Olive.
Second down for the Buccaneers. They lead this contest 44-7. As Adam said, we've got a talented group of athletes and a talented group of coaches. Get a chance. Please come out and see what they do, whether it's at home or on the road. Particularly on the road, they appreciate you coming out and being supportive of their efforts. Buccaneers come near side of the field. They elect to keep it on the ground and keep that clock running. It's just under 4 minutes to go. It will be third down Bucks. The ball on the 36. The mark to make is just inside the 46-yard line. Mountain Lions do not have a game next week. It will be until the 17th. And I've got to think back a long time to think that big of a gap between games from Mars Hill. But they will come home against Catawba, South Atlantic Conference opener. And this year, the Mountain Lions, they've got a target on their back, so to speak, in terms of the competition, because there's not going to be one the Lions are going to be able to sneak up on. We know how the season finished up last year, and they have a lot of pressure on them. They certainly have the talent to answer those demands and come out and be a good competitive team this year. Games like this, they're tough, but, you hope to get through a contest like this, Adam, and don't have any injuries of any variety. Athletic director can pick up the check, and that will help the operations budget, because that is why the smaller teams play the bigger teams, ladies and gentlemen. That's just part of the process. High end over end kick. Mars Hill's going to let that roll down near the 12-yard line. And talking about funding for athletics, if you get the opportunity, you can log on to the MarsHillLions.com website. Follow the links to the Lions Athletic Club. That is the fundraising arm of the athletic department. I'm fortunate to be able to work with athletic director Rick Baker, Bud Crispin up in the development office, and have the full support of President Tony Floyd, the entire group of Mars Hill personnel. Some of the great things we've been able to do with that, just some phenomenal numbers in terms of fundraising the last 3 years. That is only possible because, and Adam knows, he's watched part of the process, that is only possible because people trust us with their money. We can assure you, if you send in a check and you want it to go to buying women's basketballs, it will go to buying women's basketballs. If you send it in and you want to buy new sets of clubs for one of the members of the golf team, any of the golf team, it will go to that. There are all sorts of needs. Adam and I have talked about this so many times. A lot of people, if you're not involved with collegiate athletics or even high school, middle school athletics, the costs that go in, just simple things like, okay, you got to have a uniform. That used to cost a couple $100s when we were in school. Well, it doesn't cost that anymore. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars. To put a football player on the field all season long, you're into the thousands of dollars. Transportation on a game just coming from Mars Hill to ETSU and back, you're talking $3,000 or $4,000. Trip down to Wilson, North Carolina against Barton. By the time you do your hotel, you do your meals, you do your transportation, over $10,000 worth of expenditures. If you help us, if you assign where you want your donations to go, I will personally assure you, and so will Rick Baker, that money will go to benefit these young people, and I'm not bashful about it. We need it. Everything gets more expensive. You know that. The Chick-fil-A meals we'll be feeding after the game cost a lot more than what they did last year. Looks the same wrapper, but huge cost difference. Adam knows that just on some basic stuff to run athletic communications. So there, my speech for the day. Sorry.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, especially with what we've seen in the last couple of years with almost all of our programs. Certainly what the money's been being put towards, you're seeing that pay off for the athletes. You're seeing these better results. You're seeing better student athletes, more student athletes coming to Mars Hill, and you're seeing that pay off. with those donations, does the volleyball team have the great year that they did last year, going 21-13, making an NCAA appearance? Does the football team have what it takes to get to a conference championship contest? You're seeing Mars Hill start to kind of climb back up that hill towards the top of the South Atlantic Conference in many sports, and any donation available and possible to these programs is certainly going to help continue that rise.
Brooks Harris on the reception, going to be short of the first down marker. And to that end, Adam, in a lot of cases, it is a matter of, if you have a question about what the needs are, just reach out to Adam, reach out to me, reach out to Director of Athletics, Rick Baker, any of the head coaches. We keep a list of things that we need, because not only is it a matter of what we need now, we're planning ahead for, okay, we need this to at least be even with everybody else in the conference.
Correct.
We need this to be a little bit ahead, and we need this to be a lot better. Locker room for basketball, it has been literally decades. I've been with the programs for 40 years. For the first time, we will have 2 locker rooms we can be very proud of for our men's and women's basketball. Some people said, well, I didn't have such and such when I was there. Why do they need it? It's part of the recruitment process. It is part of being competitive. You have to be competitive off the field as well as on, and that's what we're trying to get, because we want to get past that, well, we're Mars Hill. No, we are Mars Hill. And there is a different mindset with that. Mountain Lions keeping it on the ground. Looks like they're going to have first down yardage on that play. Again, another Mars Hill player down. You have to think at this point, Adam, okay, it's upper 60s, but it is humid. It's been a warm day, and been a lot of football played out there.
Well, and it's first game of the year. Your legs aren't fully there. You can train and condition as much as you can in practice, but until you get into game speed and into a different environment than the field you have been practicing on, all those factors are going to certainly play a role. And I think we see that late in this contest as it tends to be maybe some cramping by the players that do go down on these plays.
Whitson goes to the air. The pass is going to be complete. It will be short of the first down marker, but Mars Hill will be able to have positive yardage on the play. It will be second down, Mountain Lions. The ball on the 42-yard line. That's the Mars Hill 42. We're down to 65 seconds to go in the contest, and Mars Hill will take a timeout. We'll do the same. Bucks 44, Lions 7, right here on the Mountain Lions Sports Network. Whitson going to the air. The southpaw had a man open. Credit ETSU on that. Defender kind of came barreling through and batted it away at him.
Interesting play call, especially with a minute left, down by 37. Whitson again just trying to get the reps in. 3rd and 4.
We're up here high atop Greed Stadium. Great view for a vantage point for a football game. East Tennessee faithful have cleared the bank over to our left. Band hanging in there, and the Mars Hill crew there are going to be here to the end. That's credit to those young men. That is one of those, we're going to help you meet your deductible stops defensively by ETSU, Adam. Let's talk about it.
Say Marquez Henry with arguably the hardest hit of the contest, but give credit to Jackson McLean, wide receiver for the Lions. He was bobbling that ball, kind of handcuffed him, able to hold on to it. A great play by McLean, but certainly a hit. They're not looking to have a tackle. They're looking to cut you in half, and that's a quote from our director of athletics, Rick Baker. He heard that quote in the pregame scout as well.
And McLean held on to that football. I think he was also calculating this is a little more between me and them. So, my goodness, they'd be coming back next week and checking on me. Oh, golly gracious, that was a brutal hit by that young man as we wind things down in regulation. Buccaneers 44, Mars Hill 7. We'll step away, be back with some closing comments right after this. Welcome back to East Tennessee's Green Stadium. Stuart Jolly, Adam Williams along with you. Quick scoring recap and a look at our stats as we wind things down for this afternoon, which rolled into this evening's game. ETSU, first score coming at 10:35, first quarter. The kick failed, 6-0 lead, Bucks. 5:23 in the first quarter. Jacob Sailors, 29-yard pass play from Tyler Riddell. The kick by Keltner is true. It's 13-0 Bucks. At 3:01 in the first period, Sailors 1-yard run. Keltner's kick is good. 20-0 Buccaneers. That wraps things up in the first quarter of play. Second quarter, ETSU on the board at the 5:10 mark. Will Huzzy, 11-yard pass play from Tyler Riddell. The Keltner kick is good. 27-0 the score, Buccaneers, in that scoring drive taking 1 minute and 15 seconds. 4:56 mark in the second quarter. ETSU Huzzy, 38-yard interception return. The Keltner kick is good. It's 34-0 Buccaneers at the break. Coming back in the third period, ETSU Huzzy, 26-yard pass play from Tyler Riddell. The Keltner kick is good. 41-0 the score, Buccaneers. 7 plays, 58 yards, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. At the 3:23 mark, Mars Hill gets their first score of the 2022 season. Ty Snelson on a 5-yard pass play from Jimmy Urzua. The bot kick no good. 5 plays, 54 yards, 2 minutes and 14 seconds in clock time used. It's 41-7 ETSU. And then at 2:08 in the third, ETSU's Tyler Keltner's 44-yard field goal is good, giving us our final score. Buccaneers 44, Mars Hill 7. Adam, your turn. We're going to take a look. He's going to break it down for you, ladies and gentlemen, how things look individually for the Mountain Lions and the Buccaneers.
Leaders for Mars Hill in rushing, Javon Newton, 9 carries for 15 yards. In the passing attack, split up between Jimmy Urzua and Brody Whitson. Urzua with 135 yards and 1 touchdown. Brody Whitson, 9 of 21 for 109 yards. On the receiving end for Mars Hill, both Malik Laurent and Keith Coffey with 4 receptions. Laurent leading the team with 59 yards. Snelson with 3 grabs for 34 yards and the lone score. And as we look at the defense as well, Landon Honeycutt with 5.5 tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss. We take a look at the Buccaneer leaders. Jacob Sailors, 13 rushes for 63 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyler Riddle, 14 of 19 with 1 interception, but 3 touchdowns and 197 yards on the evening. Will Huzzy with 5 receptions for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. And on the defensive end, Elijah Huzzy, 5.5 tackles for ETSU, but he was vital in the special teams role with numerous punt returns that put ETSU in some favorable positions to start their drives.
Well, and Adam, looking at this breakdown on stats, rushing yardage, 107 for ETSU, 18 from Mars Hill. Huge difference. Passing yardage, 244 Mars Hill, 197 ETSU. Total offensive plays and yards, 262 Mars Hill, 304 ETSU. Not a huge differential there. Punt returns, yardage, 68 by ETSU. Big advantage there to Mars Hill's 2. Kickoff returns, the Bucks, 50 yards total on that. Mars Hill, no returns. Interceptions, returned yardage. Mars Hill had 1 interception, no return yardage. That for ETSU, 2 for 66 yards. Fumbles lost, that made a difference for the Mountain Lions. Penalties, 60 in yardage for Mars Hill, 35 in yardage for East Tennessee State. Time of possession very close, 28-58 Mars Hill, 31-02 for ETSU. Third down conversions, 4 of 13 ETSU. Mars Hill, 3 of 16. And I say all that, you look at those stats and have to figure that, okay, those are things, like we said, they are correctable. Was it fun to go through this process? No. Is it painful? Yes, it is. Is it a growth process which these young gentlemen can learn from? Yes, it is. How do you know this paid off? You come watch football on the 17th against Cadell.
Exactly. And you look at these numbers and, you know, aside from the score, things are pretty competitive. Now, obviously, rushing yards, and there's a couple here and there. And you and I had talked off mic during halftime about how maybe in the first quarter and even the start of the second, it was just a play here, a play there, and some mental errors. Again, the botched punt return that we talk about that put ETSU up by 2 scores. The penalty that was taken as well in the first half as well that allowed the Buccaneers drive to continue. And I think really when you boil it down, the Buccaneers just took advantage of all their opportunities. Now, this is a completely different Buccaneers team than we saw 4 years ago. We can see the evolution of this team. They're faster, they're stronger. They were able to click on a lot more plays. And maybe that played in our heads. Maybe we thought, oh, well, we had them 4 years ago. What's really changed? Well, a lot can change, especially in a day, but you give it 4 years and you have time to recruit and bring in these players. But you look at these numbers, and we talked about, you know, the learning process, the growth process. As disappointed as these guys might be, that bus ride home, you got to put that in the back of your head. And already, like you said, 16 days from now, conference play opens in front of our home crowd, where we performed quite well, 4-0 last year at home in conference. It's going to be a quick turnaround. Again, they're going to be upset right now, but they did do a lot of positive things against a quality team. Now you come back into conference play. If you can play about 75%, 80% of what they did today, and you fix that maybe 25 to 20% that were, you know, lacking, this team can pick up where they left off last year and can return to form and be one of those dangerous teams. Today, first game of the year, you know, a bit of a roadblock, a bit of a stumble out of the gate, but you have plenty of time to recover.
We thank you for being a part of this first broadcast of the 2022 fall football season. We look forward to seeing you on the 17th in Mears Stadium. Sam Sanders and Phil, the Joanne and Judd Ellen Ammons Fieldhouse, Ammons family facility. And again, let me kind of do a little detour here. To the Ammons family, Joellen and Judd are no longer with us, but anytime you walk into that stadium, we are very blessed by seeing their dedication back to Mars Hill and to Mars Hill University. Their family members still get up to see some games occasionally, and we give a shout out to them. Has that made a huge difference in what we do in Mars Hill Athletics? Yes, it has. Something to be proud of, and that field house has made a huge difference on what this program for football is and is going to continue to be. For Adam Williams, Director of Athletics, Rick Baker, the Mars Hill entire athletic family, Mars Hill University President Tony Floyd, I'm Stuart Jolly. Thank you for being part of our broadcast. If you think of any way that you would like to be a part of what we do at Mars Hill University Athletics and you can help us in any form, be sure to reach out to us. We'll be glad to, well, Adam, I'll tell you, we'll put you to work. It's always good to have help. Have a safe and pleasant rest of the week, everyone. A safe and enjoyable Labor Day weekend. We'll see you in Mears Stadium for football on the 17th. Men's soccer coming up Saturday and volleyball tomorrow. Till next time, for Adam Williams.